At this time of year, we all tend to reflect. In college football, that allows us to draw upon the game's entire spectrum of emotion and experience. In '92, it was the return of the roar and the roll of the tide. Alabama chased down and stole the national championship as the Tide stopped Miami, one of the most dominant programs in recent history. This season, we watched several coaches move on, while others bid farewell to the sights and sounds of Saturday afternoons into a game that had become a way of life. And the past year once again highlighted the contagious energy and the spirit of the game itself, of rejuvenated programs, of victories that made students delirious with excitement and filled fans with playful adolescence. This century-old game continues to be a source for all of us to look back and to remember when. Yet even as we begin a new year, one more story must be played out before we close the book on '92. Tonight, the silver anniversary of the Peach Bowl provides the setting for two college programs whose resurgence has their fans excited about 1993. It is very noisy. It is also very full. You're looking at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Number 24, the Bulldogs of Mississippi State in town to take on North Carolina in this, the 25th birthday party for the fine folks here in Atlanta who put together the Peach Bowl. Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Franklin, and welcome. Happy New Year's to you and your family. Last Tuesday night from Tucson, we said hello and put the curtain up as far as our Bull Week here on ESPN. And tonight we bring the curtain down. And I think we've got an awfully good matchup for you. In fact, we've got the two best conferences who have had the most success in bowl play. Look at the SEC. Mississippi State out of that conference, of course. They're 5-0. And in the ACC, North Carolina, that conference is 2-1. Mike Godfrey joins me on the telecast tonight as usual. And Mike, as far as North Carolina and Mack Brown are concerned, it has been a while in coming, but here they are bowling.
Ron, Mack Brown's 5-year program has arrived with this Peach Bowl bid, and his offense is led by two young quarterbacks, Mike Thomas and Jason Stanisiak. Now, they need to settle down in this ball game early, and they need to get the football to Natrone Means, their big tailback. He's a 230-pound tailback that makes you miss, and if he's effective, that'll open up the play-action passing game of the young quarterbacks.
On the opening just a moment ago, we talked about excitement and enthusiasm from the fans. Well, Starkville, Mississippi has certainly been that since Jackie Sherrill came there. What about Mississippi State? They went bowling last year. Here they are once again.
Well, last year they played in Memphis, and Jackie Sherrill's ball club may have taken that game as a reward. They went to Memphis and lost to the Air Force in the Liberty Bowl. Tonight, they've been a little bit more businesslike in preparing for this ball game. Their key is quarterback Greg Plump. He needs to have a big ball game for them. They plan to throw the ball 40 times at least in this football game, so Greg Plump has to have a good game. But Ron, the biggest problem for both quarterbacks may be not the other team's defense, but the noise factor, the cowbells and checking off and trying to get the plays run the right way from the line of scrimmage.
Well, as you can hear right now, or maybe you can't hear, and I hope Adrian Karsten can hear us down in the field. Adrian, let's go down to you and talk about a brother act, and they are on opposite sides of the field this evening.
Well, Ron, you're right. Tonight we highlight two of the most respected offensive coaches in a college football family affair. North Carolina head coach Mack Brown and his big brother Watson, who calls the plays for Mississippi State, grew up his boys playing their games under the same roof. Well, tonight, under the dome, they get to go at it again.
He knows everything we do, and we know pretty much what he does because he and I are so close. I mean, Adrian, we talk 3 times a week year-round, not just during the season, year-round. And but I don't know what they call things. They don't know what we call things. We've always done that to where we don't get into those kind of things. And this other thing is you don't know when they're going to call it.
I've got to focus on North Carolina. Watson will focus on Mississippi State. And other than that, the brother thing is a bigger factor before the game. And it's a lot tougher afterwards because when you win the game, you're proud to win, but there's still a little part of you that hurts for your brother. And if you lose the game, you really feel good for him, but not good enough to hope he wins next time you play.
Stand by for the opening kickoff. It's North Carolina and Mississippi State next. Well, this is a gorgeous sight high atop the Georgia Dome. Over 71,000 jam-packed in here. And they have allowed something this evening that surprised some folks as far as noise and noise control in college football. They allowed Mississippi State to bring their cowbells. And let's go down to the sideline. Adrian Karsten, it was extremely noisy when the Bulldogs took the field a moment ago.
Ron, I can barely hear you now. You know, although the Southeastern Conference has banned the use of artificial noisemakers, 20,000 Bulldog faithful brought the cowbells out of the conference into the dome. Now, the Peach Bowl Executive Committee said, look, cowbells are not only welcome here, they are encouraged, so hold your ears. The point is, neither team is going to be able to check off offensively at the line.
Okay, Adrian, good luck to you, and I hope you can hear us afterwards. We may bring note paper to have coffee after the game.
It's in the locker room before the game. Mac Brown, who you see here on the screen, was talking to the officials, and he was working them a little bit on this noise factor. So he was trying to get a little edge before the game.
And, of course, across the way, as I mentioned, since he has come to Starkville, Mississippi, those people down there have been jumping around because of the success they have had. Jackie Sherrill, the second year for him as the head coach at Mississippi State. Crossland will kick it off for North Carolina. State won the toss. They elected to receive. They did not defer. And the 25th anniversary Peach Bowl is underway. Williamson on the return, and he will take it across the 30 to the 32. So the starters for Mississippi State tonight. The man at quarterback, he replaced the sleepy one, Sleepy Robinson, Greg Plump. He's a junior out of Hattiesburg, throws well, runs well, a tad inconsistent at times, but he's tough to follow. The wide receivers, Willie Harris, the go-to guy, leads the team in receptions. And up front, a veteran offensive line, John James, has started over 40 games at left tackle. Sarton, Ford, Bell, and James, the guys who join him up there. And on first down, movement and flags all over. Call is against North Carolina.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense.
Okay, that's what I thought, but he just pointed the wrong way. So, Mike, we just talked about the cowbells being allowed into the stadium tonight, and it could have cost Mississippi State the first 5-yard penalty of the evening.
Well, the key in the noise will be checking off. It'll be the most difficult. They'll have to do it with hand signals and trying to pass the information along between the receivers and the quarterback.
Fakes to Roberts, play action. Drills it, has it complete. Willie Harris, first down. Crosses the 45, and he's out to the 46-yard line. And let's meet the starters on defense for North Carolina. As far as the down four, we got Brown, Bolden, and Robinson. Keep an eye on Austin. He's a junior from Washington, D.C. Runs a 4.9. They think he's going to play on Sundays. Thigpen has had problems with hamstring injuries this year, but he's still heads and shoulders above most. And Rondell Jones in the secondary. Watch number 31. Really hasn't gotten the recognition that he deserves. But watch 31 this evening. Kenny Roberts, 5 yards, now counted off at 6, and Mississippi State is into North Carolina territory for the first time.
Ron, the key for Mississippi State tonight is Greg Plump, number 10. And when I talked to Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator of North Carolina, he said the biggest mistake we could make tonight is allow Greg Plump to get off in a rhythm. There's Sleepy Robinson, the quarterback who was hurt early in the season, and their whole offense was built for Sleepy Robinson.
Well, in fact, Jackie Sherrill told me back at the beginning of the year, just before they played Texas, he said, if Sleepy gets hurt, I'll come up and sit with you guys. He hasn't done that, and here they are bowling. That's Willie Harris with his second reception of the night, and he will be inside the North Carolina 40.
Well, Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator, doesn't want him to get off to a good start, but Watson Brown, the offensive coordinator, told me he had his best week of practice. So he expects him to play well, and they're giving him great confidence by allowing him to come out and throw the football early in this game.
That's a gain of 10. Remember, Harris did that against Texas. In fact, in the opening series, kept running a couple of outs and then out and up, and he scored. And now flags come down again. J.R. Bolden, I believe, is the man who jumped.
Another point, Ron, is North Carolina hasn't been to a bowl game in a long time. Probably a little nervous in this setting. Mississippi State went up to the Liberty Bowl last year. Lost. Carl Torbush right in the middle of the screen here. He's got his hands on his head early in the ball game because he knows he doesn't want Greg Plump to get moving here in a rhythm.
Very long time under center, possibly a check off. They go with the option, and the pitch goes to Roberts. Inside the 25, down to the 18-yard line. Rondell Jones makes the stop.
Ron, you're exactly right. They're very unique in how they call their plays. Watson Brown looks at the defense, then Greg Plump looks to Watson Brown, makes the call, and this is the result. They call an option play into the short side of the field. Jonathan Perry, number 54, takes the quarterback, and then Kenny Roberts is in the secondary.
Well, that's a gain of 15 yards. Watson Brown looking on from the Mississippi State sideline. This time it's the fullback, and Michael Davis lumbers his way down close to the 10-yard line. It looks as though they're going to spot him at the 11. But Mike, right now, I would have to say that James, Sarton, Ford, Bell, and Jesse James getting the best of it as far as the surge from that offensive front.
You're saying the James gang is off to a good start here.
I think so.
The key player, Ron, tonight is Michael Davis, the fullback. If he can get some rushing yardage, that'll allow Greg Plump a great luxury tonight.
Second down, they need the 8. And they give it to the fullback again, and Michael Davis, I believe, will have the first down from where the line judge is coming to spot him. That's Jonathan Perry, the senior out of Orangeburg, South Carolina, who makes the stop.
In this offense that Mississippi State runs, number 37, Michael Davis, as you look at Watson Brown, becomes the most effective back, because if he can get the inside running game going, that opens the option, and then Greg Plump on the play action. So to me, this is the key. What kind of yardage Michael Davis gets out of the fullback spot.
First and goal, and the ball just outside the 7. You see the blitz, and they hand it off. Davis close to the 5-yard line as he ran by one of the blitzing parties, and then there's going to be stopped by Payne.
Nice call by, excuse me, Ron, nice call by Watson Brown, because he used a formation where he was spreading out North Carolina. You see the blitz, and they hit it just perfect. Number 57, Kerry Mack, the linebacker, stayed at home.
Davis, the lone setback this time. And he is down at the North Carolina end of the stadium, and he's having some problems here. Option into the boundary. Davis hit with a good open field stop, and he will be racked at the 3. Bernardo Harris, the first man there, junior from Chapel Hill.
Ron, just as important for Greg Plump to check off is number 31, Rondell Jones, the free safety. So when you get into a noise factor, somebody has to be able to get the calls both ways. The quarterback, Greg Plump, has to get it on offense, the quarterback on defense. Now you see Watson Brown making a signal to Greg Plump.
Right now, I was looking at the 25-second clock, and he had the signals in with the thing showing 22 seconds. So actually, you're better than substituting.
A lot of time. You get a lot of time that way. You get more time for the quarterback to change it.
Truitt in motion. That's who he's looking for. Got him wide open. Touchdown, Orlando Truitt.
Ron, a great move by Orlando Truitt. Yes, he really ran a great pattern. Came in motion, started inside, and ran a little pirouette and came back outside. He was wide open.
Well, North Carolina, the last thing they wanted to happen is for Plump to be pumped, and he is pumped.
Oh, he's sky high now. You've got a problem on your hands if you're Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator, and Mac Brown.
Chris Gardner to try to make it 7-0 Mississippi State. There is no better feeling for a football coach than to take that opening drive and take it down the field with vigor the way they did. Extra point is up and it's good. And as we go to break, one more look at number 80, Orlando Truitt out of Birmingham, Alabama. Here's the look from the quarterback, Plump. His toss into the end zone. It is 7-0 Mississippi State. ESPN's presentation of the 1993 Peach Bowl is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of the incredible four-wheel drives, and by Siemens for leading-edge technologies in electronic and electrical engineering. Depend on Siemens precision thinking. Orlando Truitt making the touchdown catch, and in fact, as Mike said, his move was so good that the defensive back even lost his footing. Boy, this is a magnificent structure here in Atlanta, Georgia, and these people have proven not only do you have great backing from North Carolina and Mississippi State, but the people in this community have shown that they are squarely behind this project of the Peach Bowl, and it really feels good to be in a facility like this and to see almost a standing room only crowd for this bowl game on January the 2nd. Well, North Carolina's got to come back with a retort because Mississippi State took the opening kickoff and convincingly punched it in. Wall 5 yards deep, runs a couple, and his teammates say no, don't do it. Michael?
When you motion the receiver in, most of the time you're going to bring him across the formation, but what Orlando Truitt's going to do is run a little pirouette and come back outside. Here comes the motion. Now the defensive back, Sean Crocker, thinks he's going across the middle. Now all of a sudden, look at the little move, faked him completely out, wide open for the touchdown.
Well, there you see it, 9 plays, 3 minutes 51 seconds, 6 runs and 3 passes. 2 of the passes went to Harris, and then the touchdown pass to Truitt. Mike Thomas.
Look for a reverse pass right off the bat here, Ron, with Stephen Jerry in the game.
Yep, and that's what they're looking for. Jerry with the pass and almost intercepted. The man that he wanted was Corey Holiday, but it was Walt Harris who almost made the pickoff.
Well, Stephen Jerry's a former quarterback. Almost just didn't get enough under the ball there. Good way to start, though. What that does is that sends a message to the Mississippi State defense. We're going to throw the ball downfield. We want you off of us. We're going to try to spring Natrone Means in the running game, but we will throw it deep.
That's the same pass that Wake Forest threw for a touchdown, wasn't it, in Shreveport?
Sure was.
Swings it out. Natrone Means has 5, has 10, counted off at 15. There is the bell cow of the Tar Heels. And now let's meet the starters on offense for North Carolina. Number 20, the man who just caught the pass. They are 13-0 when he rushes for 100 yards or better. He has over 1,200 yards this year. The wide receivers, well, Corey Holiday, little number 1. You saw him go up on top for him first, didn't get it to him. This is an offensive line that has improved a great deal since the beginning of the year. But Randall Parsons, number 58, a senior from Wilkesboro, North Carolina, is the man who anchors that offensive front. Option back into the boundary. 3 yards, now 4 for Mike Thomas, and it's Juan Long defensively. Speak the starters on defense for Mississippi State. Arlie Gibson from right down the road from Starkville, West Point, Mississippi. He's a guy that has to play well for them to have success, and he has been doing just that. The linebackers, Daniel Boyd, a lot of superlatives to be said about him, but he started 39 straight games for Mississippi State. You understand why he's in that position. And Kelvin Knight in the secondary, 4 interceptions. Probably the best as far as run cover and pass cover for them. Under pressure, and he just threw it away. That was an offensive lineman. In fact, it was Parsons. And now here comes a flag as the official realizes that Lateef Travis was putting the pressure on, but it was Parsons that the ball came closest to, and they'll call grounding.
Well, just for the other side of the field, you've got Greg Plum starting off with a hot ticket, and now you got Mike Thomas. You just try to settle him down. Gerald Carr, the quarterback coach, is talking to him. You just try to get to him where he's thinking a little bit about what he's doing. Don't get nervous. It's a long football game. Got a lot of good plays.
Mike, interesting note about Mike Thomas. Throughout high school and now here in college, he has never lost a football game that he started. Well, right now they're down 7-0, but we'll see if he can keep that string alive tonight. Mississippi State has brought the veteran Jerome Brown in over at left defensive end for pass rush purposes. This is Means. Gets outside, cuts it back in the middle. Oh, what a nice second, third, and fourth cut. And he got a first down out to the 48-yard line. Charlie Davidson tripped him up. That's 19 yards in the carry.
Natrone Means, the fullback. You see how they have, he's a tailback, but you see how they spread him out with 3 receivers. Now they're going to run the draw play to Natrone Means. But what he does so well, Ron, is he makes you miss, and he can make cuts. At 230 pounds, he roars down the field and then runs over people.
Thomas turns and hands it to Means again. Has 5, has 10, counted off at 12. Frankie Luster this time on the stop.
Well, there's different ways to settle your quarterback down. Let Greg Plum throw the football, but let Natrone Means start it off. And when I talked to Bill Clay, the defensive coordinator of Mississippi State, he said he's a big back. He makes good cuts. He's a load. He said they may say he weighs 230 pounds, but I'll guarantee he weighs 250.
All right, Mike Means has just come out of the ball game, and Mississippi State cannot relax because Randy Jordan, number 21, who just checked in, is the fastest man in this North Carolina football team, and that's who they give it to. And a flag comes down, and it looks as though it's going to be procedure against North Carolina.
Dead ball. False start on the offense, 5 yards.
Richard Honig, our referee tonight. That's the 3rd penalty already as you look at Natrone Means on the sideline. A little bit more about Randy Jordan, injured against Georgia Tech, and the trainer says probably for the first time since then he is healthy. 5'11", 204, a senior. And as I mentioned, the fastest Tar Heel on the club. Stumbling as he goes up the middle, will take it to around the 42-yard line. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this opening quarter. Mississippi State takes it right down the field and scores on 9 plays. As you look at Pete Jenkins, the defensive line coach for Mississippi State.
They have to be concerned with the success of the running game with North Carolina. I would expect Mack Brown now to get Mike Thomas involved with just a little short pass. Just give him a completion so that he can get into this ball game.
This is the 8th play of the North Carolina drive. They roll the pocket. Just going to take it down to the 35-yard line. If you're wondering why the quarterback didn't go down, Mike Thomas is 6'2", 222 pounds. He was almost looking for someone to run over.
Well, that's just as good as throwing the ball for a little 5-yard out because he's had success on this sprint out. He avoids the tackle of Herman Carroll, number 96. Now look at the cut he makes. He makes a cut all the way back across the field. Arlie Gibson, number 9, finally gets a hold of him.
Well, he plays baseball and he also punts, and he punts extremely well. 3rd down, and if he doesn't pick up 5, he might show us if he can pooch kick or not. There's the pitch to Means. 1st and 10, North Carolina at the Mississippi State 25.
Mississippi State on the option is making Mike Thomas decide right away what he's going to do with the football. They have the defensive end coming down hard forcing Mike Thomas to pitch. You know, it's how you want to take your poison. Do you want to let Mike Thomas, who's a pretty good runner, carry the football, or do you want to that pitch out to Natrone Means? I don't think they want Natrone Means running that football scot-free on the outside.
Thomas going to be sacked. Lateef Travis is the man who will get him, and it is a loss of 6 on the play.
When you sprint out to one side or the other, you really reduce the field that you're throwing to unless you have a pull-up package where you throw back. But this is a curl flat route. He just couldn't get set, Ron. You see his left foot was up in the air. He wanted to throw the ball, but for some reason got his foot stuck and couldn't get the ball off.
You can see Curtis Parker, number 72, battling to keep Lateef Travis from getting by him, but he was just too quick. Blitz up the middle, and he's going to be sacked again. This time it's Juan Long.
That looked like it started out to be a quarterback draw. You're going to see Mississippi State. Looks like North Carolina has a quarterback draw, but Juan Long, number 40, who blitzed up the middle. There's just no place to go.
That's a loss of 4. They had lost 6 a moment ago, so it's 3rd down. And for North Carolina, they need the 15-yard line. The 25-second clock was down to 1, so he called timeout. We'll take it with him. 7-0, Mississippi State on top. 7-0 Mississippi State, and Adrian Karsten, how loud are those cowbells down on the field as North Carolina runs toward them?
It's a combination of the cowbells and the fans. You're looking at the significance of the sound here. This is pushing 120 decibels every time they come to the line. Now, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, or OSHA, says any playing or getting next to this sound for more than 15 minutes can damage your hearing.
What'd he say? Can't hear up here.
I'll tell you, it is loud. North Carolina to the line of scrimmage. It is a 3rd down, and as you can see, they need 20. Over the middle, incomplete. Felton is the man that they wanted, and Juan Long is the guy who had the cover. And it was Torrance Brown who was putting the pressure on the quarterback, Mike Thomas.
Here's where you have a dangerous situation of Mississippi State, because the quarterback now is the punter, Mike Thomas, and you know the real good possibility of a fake, so they're not even sending anybody back at this point. Good chance to put good field position against them.
Very high, lazy kick. It's going to bounce inside the 10, and Carolina was down it at the 7. Well, be sure to join Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann tomorrow morning for television's Emmy Award-winning pregame show, NFL Game Day. They'll have all the previews and features for tomorrow's playoff action. Then at 7:30, the crew returns with the most complete NFL wrap-up highlight show on television, NFL Primetime, tomorrow right here on ESPN. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Adrian Karsten, and glad to have you along. Happy New Year from Atlanta, Georgia. Mississippi State, 7-0, and they have the ball for the 2nd time. Tony James, the ball carrier, as we have got Rodney Hudson in the ball game at quarterback. Number 8, Hudson comes in. Tony James, a senior out of Clinton, carrying the ball.
They want to play Rodney Hudson a couple series because he's a young quarterback. Would have been redshirted if Sleepy Robinson would not have been injured. Watson Brown likes this young quarterback. 6 foot, 175-pound freshman, giving him good playing experience.
And he's from LaGrange, Georgia. James off the counter action will have the Mississippi State first down as he brings it across the 20, and Rondell Jones combines with Bracey Walker to make the stop.
Well, you're going to see number 67, Bill Sarton, pulling and getting a good block, which springs Tony James through for good yardage on that counter play, which holds the linebackers a little bit, gives that pulling guard and pulling tackle, John James, 676, good angles to block.
Prince and James, the setbacks now. Makes it to Prince. Keeps it on the option. Spins by one tackler. Boy, he is really quick. Jonathan Perry comes up to put the stopper on him.
The only problem that I see when you do this early in the ball game, Greg Plump was really off to a great start. Now you hope when he comes back in that he's going to be on that same rhythm, because he is coming back in, because he's the passing quarterback they need. But you do have to get 2 quarterbacks ready. They played 4 quarterbacks this year, so they've learned their lesson that you have to have more than one.
They pitch the reverse. This is Truitt. Defense stays at home. He is going to be shoved out of bounds. Maybe that's a gain of 1, and that's it. Good job defensively by North Carolina.
When you run that play now, Ron, there's no gain on that play. Matter of fact, it looked like a butcher play when it was all over. But Watson Brown, who we're looking at here, has a play. You remember a game we did earlier in the year where Orlando Truitt comes around on that reverse and throws a pass. So, you know, what you do is you log at now. They didn't respect the throw because they came up on the reverse. So now, during this game, you're going to see Orlando Truitt throw a reverse pass.
It looked as though Jackie Sherrill was saying to Watson Brown that he was a little flat rather than rounding off.
Well, you're right. He asked the same question that all head coaches ask the assistants. What happened? They don't ask when they have those big gainers. They say, hey, good job. But when they don't work, they say, what happened?
Jonathan Perry shaken up on the play. And let's take a timeout. 3:26 left in the opening quarter. 7-0 Mississippi State. Well, we mentioned that Perry is shaken up, and the doctors are dealing with him on the sideline. This, by the way, is the first 3rd down play for Mississippi State in the night. Hudson lobs it over the middle, too tall. Good heavens. Kurt Clanton, his tight end, looked like the first guy out to the workout, and he just threw it right over his head. Watson Brown reacts like, what happened?
Watson saying, you know, we had old Kurt Clanton wide open, Rodney, so I expect Rodney to come off the side and Greg Plump to come back in. Todd Jordan, we have a game of punters, Ron. It'll be field position football tonight.
Randall Felton is the man who's back deep. We do. And particularly under the ideal conditions of no wind blowing either with you or against you, these two guys can put on a clinic. And they're coming after him. He gets it away and he got banged. And they say he touched the ball, and now we're bumping at the other end, and here come flags. They did not allow Felton to catch the football. What happened to start off with, Mike, is the ball was touched, so therefore it is not going to be running into or roughing the kicker. And then at the other end of the field, it was Felton who was not allowed to make the catch.
Well, North Carolina really confuses Mississippi State on this punt block attempt. What they were able to do is they move a man in real late from the right side. Then they get a bad snap. Almost should have had this block. Now, I don't know if he tipped the ball or not. Marcus Wall, the freshman.
Interference with the opportunity. 15 yards on the kicking team. First down.
I didn't see the ball tipped, though, Ron. That's the one thing I missed on that. Saw him hit the kicker's leg.
Now here's the other end of the play, Mike.
Well, there's no doubt this is a penalty right here at the end of it. Just didn't give the punt receiver a chance to catch the football. But he's blocked into him. And the Mississippi State fans just saw it on a replay, and they don't like the call. And Mr. Sherrill don't like it either. What Jackie's trying to do right now is get the attention of this Big Ten crew. He hasn't had them before, doesn't know them, so he wants to make sure they get to know him quick.
They just exchanged cards. The pitch to Means, turns it up and is down quickly this time at the 46-yard line. That'll be a gain of only a couple.
Ron, every conference officials call things a little differently. You know, it's just the nature of college football. And when you're in a bowl game, you get an officiating group that you've never dealt with before. Jackie Sherrill on one end and Mac Brown, they both met these Big Ten officials for the first time tonight. So they're trying to jockey for calls a little bit with this crew.
To Means, turns the corner and just barely. Well, that is a fine defensive play by Daniel Boyd, the senior out of South Haven.
Daniel Boyd, number 41, who had 124 tackles during the regular season. He's a very active linebacker.
Well, speaking of the Big Ten, he transferred from Minnesota. Since then has started, what, 34 straight games.
They're making North Carolina make a decision on the option right away.
Third down, and they need the 38. Zips it, intercepted by Mississippi State's Mark Woodard.
Mark Woodard, who's one of the best linebackers in the country. He's a linebacker who runs very well. He read the eyes of Mike Thomas, the young quarterback. And that was a concern that Mac Brown had, that his quarterbacks are young. They've never been in a bowl game. Just a bad throw here, trying to get the ball to Randy Felton, and then Mark Woodard with the interception. Needs to settle his quarterbacks down. A little easier throws for him.
Plump is back in the ball game at quarterback for Mississippi State. They want him to throw on first down. Near sideline, has it complete, and it's Chris Jones, a redshirt freshman, at 6'2", 208 pounds.
Well, you talk about quarterbacks getting in a rhythm, and this guy's in one. And when Watson Brown told me he had a great week of practice, you can just see what he's doing here. Chris Jones, number 17, with a curl route. Sean Crocker, he pushed him off because of the speed he had, and Sean Crocker comes back to make the tackle. But Greg Plump, I'll tell you, I wouldn't take him out again for a while and let him just keep loosening up, throwing the football, and then run the fullback Michael Davis every now and then.
Look at this, 4 of 4, 46 yards, and a touchdown. And movement up front, and the contact is made. Byron Jordan, I believe, senior out of Petal, Mississippi, came out of his stance.
What North Carolina's doing now is trying to move their defensive line. I think when they stemmed,
Both stars on the offense.
when they stemmed the offensive line or the defensive line, Ron, the movement, it's the first time they've done it tonight, just forced Mississippi State. They just jumped off sides. Good call by Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator. You see Watson Brown give the play to Greg Plump.
Chris Jones, who caught that pass a moment ago, as you look at the penalties, 2 times tonight during the warm-ups, just ran right out of his chute making his cuts. Didn't lose it on that last one, though. Incomplete, and that one just dropped by Fred Ward. Adrian Karsten, let's get an update from you.
Ron, don't expect to see this man, number 54, outside linebacker Jonathan Perry, senior for North Carolina, back in the game. He may have ended his college career on a sour note. Possible ligament damage to his left knee, the anterior cruciate ligament that gives support to the front of the knee. He's done for tonight.
Okay, Adrian, thank you. And the guy who has come on the field replacing him, that's Ray Jacobs, a junior from Hampstead, North Carolina, number 41. 7-0. Mississippi State leads under a minute to play in this opening quarter. Shovel pass. Kenny Roberts, and he's off and running. Caught just as he turns the corner, but he's out of bounds at the 29-yard line, and Crocker got him, but not before a gain of 21 yards.
The shovel draw can be very effective. Right here, it's going to come because your linebackers think it's a pass. As the quarterback draws back, see the linebackers bail out of there. Now there's the little shovel to Kenny Roberts. The linemen are able to get onto the backers. Then good yardage by the quick back Kenny Roberts, number 29.
Well, Mike, you could see that North Carolina was within an inch of knocking that ball down, and it winds up going for a gain of 21.
I like the shovel draw. Great play, because if it's knocked down, it's an incomplete
That's right.
pass.
Haven't lost
Very safe play.
Run the option back to the side of the field, and they go with Michael Davis, and the big fullback, 6'1", 233 pounds, out of Morton, Mississippi. We'll have it down to the 22.
Adrian Carson was talking about Jonathan Perry, number 54, the defensive coaches in North Carolina. Told me that he's the leader of the defense. Says someday he'll probably be a millionaire. Players all love him. So his loss in there, Ray Jacobs, is really going to have to pick up the slack. He's looking to Watson Brown now for the play. Now he gives it to Greg Plump. He gives it to the receivers.
And they go with Roberts. At the 5, touchdown, Mississippi State. We mentioned off the top of the telecast that the Southeastern Conference is perfect in bowl games, and Mississippi State is trying to keep pace. And as they are off and running here at the last play at the end of the first quarter to make it 13-0, Gardner tries to tack on the extra point. And he does.
Ron, don't forget they had that bowl loss against Air Force last year in the Liberty Bowl. A little bit more business-like this year. Look at the linebackers now as they see the sprint draw. This play was called from the sideline by Watson Brown. Tommy Thigpen, number 40, is blocked. Byron Jordan, 54, with a key block.
So let's take a break. 14-0, Mississippi State. That is the end of the first quarter. Well, we're looking down on the defense of North Carolina, and they have just been talking with their coaches. In fact, the coach has been doing a little bit more than talking. They're very upset that they have given up the 2 quick scores to Mississippi State. And Mike, with the quarterback Greg Plump in the ball game, both times Mississippi State has just sailed down the football field.
Well, he's very confident. What you have to do if you're Mack Brown and his staff is just settle your football team down. This is the first bowl they've ever been to, this team. And Mississippi State has the benefit of last year's Liberty Bowl, as you see Watson Brown and Greg Plump. But North Carolina's not out of this football game by any means. And when I say by any means, Means has to get the football.
Yep. Got to get it going. Down 14-0 as we open the second quarter. Gardner kicks it off. This is Wall, 5 yards deep, and they tell him go to a knee. Well, Big Monday is back. Monday night on ESPN. It's an NCAA basketball triple header, 7 o'clock. There you see it, 23 Connecticut against number 7 Seton Hall. 7 o'clock Eastern time. Second game of the triple header is number 15 Oklahoma against number 1 Duke. 9 o'clock Eastern time on that one, and we're not done. The third game is UAB against UC Santa Barbara around 11:30 p.m. Eastern time, all Monday evening right here on ESPN. As you look at Natrone Means, and he gets the handoff, turns it upfield, and he'll have 5.
Ron, interesting point here. Number 98, Jerome Brown, has just reported in from Mississippi State. He has an injury, and they really, as of 11:30 last night when I talked to Bill Clay, the defensive coordinator, they did not think he would play. And let's just see how he moves around out there. If I was North Carolina, I'd run at him a few times just to see what kind of condition he's in.
Means again, nothing on the right side, gets it on the left. He will have 10, now 11 yards, and he just ran over Charlie Davidson, who came up to try to make the stop on him.
The important point of Natrone Means' football game is the yards he gets after he gets hit. Such a big back. They were running to Jerome Brown, and now look at the cutback. But when you hit him, he punishes you, and you count the yardage after the first hit. That Natrone means to this North Carolina team.
Charlie Davidson is probably noting right now, I don't believe I'll hit him there again, or try to, maybe a little lower. Ball Jefferson, the fullback, goes straight ahead. He's out to the 42. It's going to be a gain of 5 more. Lisi defensively.
Ron, his own guard, Sean Hawker, number 78, said, I consider him, he's a guard, a fast guard playing running back. He just runs over you. And Mark Woodard of Mississippi State side said he's like Barry Sanders. If you let him, he'll punish you. And he will punish the defense.
By Mark Woodard at the line of scrimmage. That's pretty good collision right there from two guys that like to butt heads. It's going to be a 3rd down for North Carolina to hold on to this football. They need to take it to the 47.
Natrone Means, they're 13-0 when he gains 100+ yards, so they have to get the football in his hands.
You see him pull the guards. The option pitch. Means going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage. Frankie Luster almost took the ball away from him, and somehow there was a little bit too much separation between quarterback and a halfback right there. That pitch just floated.
I think you're right, Ron. Plus, I think they went to the wrong side. I think quarterback Mike Thomas got confused a little bit. And there's the little soft pitch that you're talking about. It's like a high fly with Frankie Luster arriving there about the same time as the football did. Mississippi State doing a nice job on the option.
They're coming after the punter. Good high coverage kick. Called for and made at the 17-yard line. 41 yards in the kick, so let's take a break. 14-0, Mississippi State. ESPN's presentation of the 1993 Peach Bowl is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives, and by Budweiser, the king of beers with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud. Kenny Roberts with his touchdown just a moment ago that made it 14-0 Mississippi State. And that's how we stand in the second quarter of the Silver Anniversary Peach Bowl game. Play action, wants to throw it. Plump deep down over the middle. He's got Truitt at the 45, and he is off to the races. Truitt, 82 yards, and there is a flag down. It is going to be offense against Mississippi State.
You can't throw the ball any better than Greg Plump threw this football to Orlando Truitt. You can't run a better route than Orlando Truitt runs. Talking about one of the better receivers in the country in Orlando Truitt. But I think he may have just fired up the North Carolina defense a little bit. There at the end of that throw, he kind of took his time getting in the end zone, and sometimes you're looking for a defense to get a spark, and they may get their spark off of this.
Illegal block above the waist on the offense, half the distance, and keep it out.
Jackie Sherrill unhappy with the officiating. Mack Brown gets a break. Troy Barnett, number 91, just playing offset of center Troy Barnett. See the call. We're watching 91. I see may possible hold. Yep. Don't see anything there. Unless he lost him and then pushed him again.
Yep. Michael Davis hurdles the line of scrimmage, brings it out over the 10-yard line, out close to the 14.
Mississippi State offensive line coach Rick Trickett left the staff about a week ago. Jackie Sherrill's offensive line coach, and chose to take a job at Auburn. So the offensive line really has been being coached by Watson Brown, the coordinator. But it's a veteran group, a lot of seniors in the group, and they've practiced a lot with the team. And so far, it seems to not have had a big effect. But Rick Trickett did a nice job with them during the year to bring them to this point.
The vast difference in rushing yardage between the two schools so far. Dumps it over the middle, has it complete, and that's William Prince. Tries to break off the tackle, and he's all the way out to the 37-yard line. Sean Crocker finally makes the stop. But how many times have I said already, and we're only in the second quarter, finally makes the stop.
Greg Plump, who returns next year for Mississippi State, is having the kind of game that'll make him a good quarterback. See the little delay route to William Prince, number 2. They had crossing action, which removed the linebackers. Then William Prince just was in the middle, wide open for the little delay route.
14-0. Mississippi State leads. Just gone under 11 minutes left until halftime. Plump throws it back, has it to Harris. He's going to be smashed down at the 40-yard line. It's a good open field hit there. Bernardo Harris is the man who gets him.
Sure, this offensive line of Mississippi State saying, hey, Rick Trickett might not be here, but we're going to show you what he taught us all during the year. Good pass protection. Greg Plump has a long time to decide to throw that football. Jesse James, number 72, with good pass protection, Ron.
Mississippi State quickly out of the huddle and back to the line of scrimmage at the 40.
Getting a play call from Watson Brown again, changing the call.
This time he's going to have to hurry. Play clock is down to 4, down to 3, and they snap it. Throws it complete. Truitt at the 46-yard line. And that will be another Bulldog first down just across midfield. Crocker with the cover.
There's many better receivers in the country than number 80. I haven't seen them. Alanda Truitt, who's 6'1", 189 pounds. Look at him push off here. And Sean Crocker. Now look at the route. Good hands, back to the football, good catch. What a rhythm this Mississippi State offense is in. They can't make any mistakes. Here's the play call again. See, Watson Brown's looking at the defense now. He's making the call from the sideline. Then he gives it to the quarterback, so he has a high percentage play.
Option to the open side of the field. That's Tony James. And diagnosed nicely by North Carolina's Bracey Walker, that time at the 45.
The only other coach I know that does a lot of this, where he'll make the calls from the sideline after he watches the defense, is Steve Spurrier down at Florida. Looks at the defense and he decides what play he wants, then he gets it into his quarterback. Now he's giving him a play. He'll look at the coverage and see if he wants to change it. Now the secondary of North Carolina is trying to disguise so that they're playing 4 across. Now Watson Brown's looking at that defense, trying to decide what call he wants, if he wants to make a call.
Plump falls down, and the minute the knee hits the ground, the play is dead. That's going to be a loss of about 6 yards on the snap, so it will be 3rd down, and the line they need to make is the 36.
First mistake Greg Plump has made this evening. And that's not a bad one, just to fall down. I mean, we all fall down on the turf, right?
Every once in a while, you have to be aware of those big linemen, somebody stepping back and getting a piece of your foot or kicking you.
A lot of people are calling Watson Brown, trying to get him to coach. I know Kentucky has talked with him. There's about 4 other schools who are trying to take him away from Mississippi State right now.
Marcus Jones, a freshman from Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Marcus Jones is some kind of athlete. Adrian Carson and I were on the sideline at practice the other day, and Adrian Carson said, watch this. And so he asked him to do a flip, and he just stood right there and just flipped over. I mean, unbelievable size and an athlete.
Well, again, we get an opportunity to see Todd Jordan, punter for Mississippi State, as he waits back at the 31.
Ron, let's log this. If they didn't get that touchdown that they had, could end up being big for North Carolina to get back in this game.
This time the Tar Heels got the return on it. What a kick. Feldman inside the 10-yard line and is going to be knocked back all the way inside the 5-yard line. 47 yards in the kick, and it was Walt Harris who makes the tackle on it. Trailing by 17 points in the fourth quarter and calling for divine intervention, East Carolina staged a miraculous 20-point comeback to overtake interstate rival North Carolina State. With this sack, the Pirates snuffed out the last Wolfpack flicker of hope for a 3-point win before the largest crowd in Peach Bowl history. Well, Mike, we had the pleasure of calling that game last year, and boy, it was exciting. We're going to annihilate the attendance record tonight, though, compared to what that one was last year. Over 70,000 in here this evening. Walkerson goes straight ahead. He'll take it up to around the 7. Mike, the old rule which everybody talks about, inside the 10-yard line. Obviously Felton just completely forgot about where he was. He also was surrounded by people when he tried to catch that at the 7. That was a terribly dangerous play.
Ron, you're right. You have a 10-yard rule. You tell your punt returner to put his heels at the 10-yard line. Fair catch everything right around there, but anything over your head, let it go.
Wants to throw, and he has it complete. Knee was on the ground, so he's down. Bucky Brooks is the receiver, and let's go down to Adrian Karsten.
Ron, North Carolina bench had a scare offensively after that last series. Natrone Means is asthmatic, and he had an attack on that lost offensive series. He took some oral medication via breathalyzer. Now, the medical staff for North Carolina tells me that this could be a problem as the game goes on, so keep your eye on it.
Okay, we'll do it. 9 rushes, 58 yards for him so far. Third down, and they need to take it out across the 16.5-yard line. So in the middle screen, oh, what a defensive play by Mississippi State. And the first guy there, as Felton caught the football, was Keevan Henry, senior out of Mountain Bayou, Mississippi.
Ron, it's a double screen that North Carolina likes to run. The number 41 Long just read this from the snap of the ball. They had a screen that was on the Natrone Means. He was one side, and then the quick screen to the other side.
Well, Mississippi State now has dropped 4 people back. They're not going to come after Thomas, and he gets his kick away very high at the 50-yard line. Fumbled for a moment by Tony James, and then he retrieves it. 39 yards on that kick. Well, ESPN resumes its Tuesday night college basketball coverage with the Big Ten battle as Lawrence Funderburk and the Ohio State Buckeyes travel to Penn State for the Nittany Lions' first Big Ten League game at 7:30. And then at 9:30, number 3 Kentucky, led by Jamal Mashburn, travels to Athens, Georgia to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. And Super Tuesday this week and every week on ESPN.
Can Rick Pitino coach?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the game we did against Louisville about 3 Saturday nights ago, and that thing was at Freedom Hall. He may be 10 or 11 deep on that clock, right? Pass, zings it, complete at the 32. That's Fred Ward. Boy, everybody's got to dance now, don't they? Dick Clark may be called into play-by-play if this continues in college football.
He can spin him right here in the press box. But Greg Plump has such a strong arm, and Watson Brown said the problem with him early in the year was he had trouble with touch. But he has 0 problem with touch tonight.
14-0. Mississippi State leading, and inside the 50 again. Michael Davis, the big fullback, will take it into the right side of the line. Tommy Thigpen comes up to make the hit on him. Thigpen, an interesting story, has played so well and so consistently for North Carolina, but this year he pulled a hamstring, and then he pulled the other hamstring, and those things, Mike, you know, can be as debilitating as any injury you can have, and probably the most thing, you can't do anything to rehab it, just do nothing.
He was a preseason Playboy All-American. He's healthy for the first time tonight. He's relentless with his body.
stop him at around the 26. So it'll be 3rd down for Mississippi State.
You're getting a rhythm as an offense, and Mississippi State's in that rhythm tonight. Inside game, outside game, short passing game, deep passing game. Everything's on for Watson Brown right now.
Well, for Plump, talking about being on, Mike, 10 of 11, 129 yards and 1 touchdown. Almost 13 yards per completion. Does it look like Troy Barnett who made contact?
Troy Barnett did come across.
Dead ball, offsides, defense, 5 yards, 1st down.
Troy Barnett is a defensive lineman that North Carolina likes to bring in pass situation. He's a better pass rusher than number 66, J.R. Bolden. So in passing downs, they like to have number 91, Troy Barnett, on the field.
4th penalty of the night against North Carolina. If things aren't bad enough, you're down 14-0, and you give the opposing team a 3rd down conversion without them having to take a snap.
There's a Watson Brown call again.
That time Davis was hit just as soon as he got the handoff, and it was Troy Barnett, the junior out of Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Well, Troy Barnett jumped off sides last down, but he wasn't going to make any false move this time. He's just in the back. You'll see how quick he is. That's what they like about him. An explosion off the line of scrimmage.
Big fella, 6'5", 268, and he still has another year. About to go under 3 minutes left until halftime. The Bulldogs trying to get at least 3 more. Gonna go for the end zone. Truitt wide open. He juggled the ball. They give him a touchdown. The official stood, looked at his fellow official as a flag is down back at the 30, and it's going to be holding Mississippi State. 2nd touchdown call back against them.
Well, Orlando Truitt's had a couple scores now that he's lost because of holding calls. He's a little frustrated.
Mike, I wasn't sure that he had possession of that anyway in the end zone.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the flag. Repeat the down.
Well, a little frustration for Orlando Truitt. Number 72, Jesse James, is who the hold is called on, and he did hold. Number 71, Marcus Jones. There's the hold call. Watch him twist him just at the end.
So there's a timeout on the field, Mike, as we look at the replay one more time of the pass to Orlando Truitt in the corner of the end zone. As he juggles the ball and tries to maintain possession. The officials say that he did, but there was holding. We'll be right back. Well, Coach Brown is concerned for good reason. His ball club is down 14-0, and 2 touchdowns, not 1, but 2 Mississippi State touchdowns have been called back. Total offense tonight, Mississippi State 227, North Carolina only 87 yards. A little miscommunication there. Orlando Truitt came back toward the line of scrimmage inside rather than outside. Pass went the other direction.
If you're Mack Brown and you know you've got this young football team, they haven't been to a bowl game, you just hope you can get in at halftime and still be in this football game to settle your team down a little bit. You've got a 2-quarterback system. Anytime you can bring Jason Stanisiak in the ball game for a little spark. So you just want to come away with this without letting Mississippi State in that end zone again.
For Harris that time, and all of a sudden Plump, who was 10 of 11 and could hardly miss anything, goes awry badly on 2 straight passes.
Well, that last holding call seems to have affected him because he's been high and to the left, and just throwing fastballs by his receivers now. So a big break for North Carolina. See if they can take advantage of it.
Todd Jordan, averaging 42.5 tonight, should get 40 yards out of this one unless he pooches it out of bounds. And he's going to throw the ball. Does complete. Flag is down. Going to be well short of the first down.
Well, I'll tell you, I'd turn this down if it's on Mississippi State. If I'm North Carolina, great field position to take the football. You know, it's interesting on that throw. It wasn't when you have that far to go.
Decline. Carolina ball.
You know, Mike, the logic is got. I just said that we couldn't get more than 40 yards in the kick. If he kicks it in the end zone, it only get 20 yards difference from where they were. So you give it a try. If you break it, fine. If you don't, they still right here with, 2 minutes and 32 seconds. They still got 69 yards to go.
But I'll tell you, they're a lot closer than they would be if you punt them inside the 10 or the 5 and so forth. But I like North Carolina now. I mean, you have a chance with 2:32 to open this game up right now. Let your quarterback, Thomas, throw the ball downfield a little bit. See if you can take advantage of this.
Play action, Brown putting pressure on. It's going to be thrown short. That ball even could have been intercepted by Walt Harris. And we wanted to know if Jerome would have mobility. Well, that answered the question right there as he stayed at home and put good pressure on Mike Thomas and almost forced the interception.
We did put good pressure on him. Mike Thomas needs to have some success here before halftime. Gerald Carr, the quarterback coach, played at Southern Illinois. Ray Dempsey, who's now a minister, was a football coach, is a minister up in Columbus, Ohio now. Very proud of Gerald Carr.
3 of 7. You can see the numbers on Mike Thomas in this first half. Now timeout is called. Play clock was down to 4 seconds. So let's take a break. 14-0 Mississippi State in the Silver Anniversary Peach Bowl. We look on from the end zone behind the Tar Heels of North Carolina. They're down 14-0. They got 2:25 to work with. Blitz coming straight up the middle. They pick it up, and that pass is complete at the 40 to Stephen Jerry.
Still say, Rodney, North Carolina has to make Mississippi State pay for the fake punt. And they need to make them pay on this drive. Little short pass by Mike Thomas. He's working his receiver against Daniel Boyd, the inside linebacker.
Draw play. And Means will only take it for 1 to the 44 as Torrance Brown was there to wrap him up.
You have a 2-quarterback system. Mike Thomas, who's the quarterback right now. On the sideline, you have Jason Stanisiak, number 16, with his hat, wearing it like Joe Walton. Jason Stanisiak is a quarterback that could come in here also in the second half.
Has that pass complete, and that's close to another first down. In fact, it will be. Stephen Jerry again. One of the things that Coach Brown said with that situation is the 2 quarterbacks understand it full well, is that he will never jerk anybody quickly, at least a quarter and a half before he brings them to the bench.
You can't play quarterback when you're looking over your shoulder. There's just no way. North Carolina finally getting a drive here going. Now, they need to produce some points on this drive before half. 1:43 left to go in the half. No timeouts left.
Deep over the middle, had him, and did he catch it or trap it? They say incomplete. Stephen Jerry was there. You see the official pointing to the turf saying, that's where it hit right there.
Demonstrating. It's a tough thing about replay when you're in the stadium. People see it and they think you made the catch.
Holding On the offense, 10 yards from the flag, repeat the down.
Wouldn't have mattered anyway, but this play coming right here.
See the hold just as number 72, Curtis Parker, against Herman Carroll, number 96. Let's see about the catch here. Wow, looks like he made the catch.
Yeah, sure does.
So that official that came down there who was demonstrative, he didn't make it, he didn't make it. But of course, we have the benefit of the replay.
Moot point with the hold. Gets that one away. Nice defensive work. Knocked down by Woodard just as the pass got there at the 41-yard line.
We need to stay away from Mark Woodard because he's like a defensive back. He's 6'1", 235 pounds, but runs a 4.6 40. Good break on the ball, almost picks it off. Good thing that Mike Thomas threw that ball outside and low.
1:27 left until halftime. 14-0 Bulldogs. Thomas gets away from run, gets away from 2 drills to pass, and at point-blank range threw it to Bucky Brooks like a high hardwood. No way he can hold on to that. Kevin Henry, the first man, and then Jerome Brown, who was putting on the pressure.
Direct opposites in the first half. The defense of Mississippi State and Bill Clay just will not let Mike Thomas have time. They just are pressuring him on every play, not allowing him to get in any type of rhythm. I think we'll see Stanisic in the second half, Ron.
Well, coming up at halftime, the Duracell Report, NFL Wild Card highlights, Sugar Bowl report, and also a look at 1993. And we'll have an analysis here of what has gone on in this first 30 minutes of this Silver Anniversary Peach Bowl. Ball is tipped, and he's caught. North Carolina's Corey Holloway.
When you're 6'3", you can do those kind of things with the football. Tip ball, he was able to use his height to make that catch. Number 1, Corey Holliday catches the deflected ball. Juan Long, number 40, tips it. Now he uses his 6'3" frame to stretch out and make that catch. Talked about halftime of Sugar Bowl. What a job by Alabama and Gene Stallings. I think you credit Mel Moore. He's taken a lot of criticism over the years. I think he's a fine football coach for his game plan on offense, and was with the Bear, and then Bill Oliver, the defensive coordinator. I just think that's such a solidly coached football team. What a job by Alabama.
You sat there last night and realizing that Miami, as good as they were this year, and to see Alabama at a time just literally taking them apart, making them look like almost like an also-ran at times. And that's hard to do when you're playing a team with that caliber talent.
Differences, defensive backs of Alabama, they matched up pretty well with the wide receivers. And I think Dennis Erickson's done another great coaching job when you take the hurricane into effect of what happened early in the season, and then to take his club to the championship game again. Again, that was college football at its best last night. And Alabama won the national championship.
Tony James, a good look at him. Thomas kicks it away. James from the 13, and they had the block on, so you're just running into nothing but opposition when that happens. 37 yards in the kick. We'll give him 3 on the return. And 56 ticks left on the clock until halftime.
Well, you're Mac Brown, you have to feel pretty good. If nothing happens here with the 56 seconds and you go in 14-0 behind and 2 touchdowns were called back, you're in pretty good shape.
Be anxious to hear what his comments were at halftime. His ball club just seems a little deflated on the sideline. They just seem a little frustrated, like everything we tried offensively and defensively just hasn't gone.
Well, you made a good point. First time you're someplace, you need time to get used to it, and this is their first bowl game. Sometimes you set goals to get to a bowl game, not to win it.
I want guys that want to win on my football team. Understand that? Because, man, they scored all they could score. We have got to come out and play. Understand that?
Frustration. Gerald Carr, the quarterback coach. trying to rally his troops.
Shovel pass, whoa, just as the ball goes to James, he got cracked by Kerry Muck. Mike explained about the tight formation with the fullback and the tailback being up as close as they are and what it does as far as your read and your responsibility.
What they're trying to do with that formation, Ron, is to try to spring people out of the backfield against the coverage. You see how they release. Now you got the little shovel draw, but the linebacker just did such a nice job, Kerry Mack, of reading that. When you're playing coverage inside with the linebackers, they're trying to sneak those backs out, crossing them, sitting them down in little zone coverages and trying to find the open receiver. Greg Plump with the little short pass. They're having so much success on the outside that the inside will open for them in the passing game.
Now the clock continued to run. Asking him to put 3 seconds back on the clock. $14-0. Mississippi State leads. Time for one final play before halftime. And they'll just go with a running play to make sure they don't have any foul ups as William Prince takes it. Mike Norton will make the tackle, and it is halftime here at the Georgia Dome. Mac Brown's ball club down by a count of 14-0. So we'll take a break. NFL scores and highlights of today's action after we pause for this. Mississippi State 14-0 here at halftime of this Peach Bowl in Atlanta. And Mike, let's take a look at some video right here that says a lot about the first half.
I think the key for North Carolina on defense, if you watch the down defensive linemen and both linebackers here, they don't get off blocks. Mississippi State has a big size advantage in the offensive line. See the blocks? Nobody gets off blocks. And when you have that kind of ability to control the line of scrimmage like that, you're going to have Kenny Roberts, number 29, in the end zone.
And let's go down to the sideline. Adrian Karsten has this report for us. Adrian?
Ron, with Tar Heel head coach Mac Brown. Mac, it looks like you've had your chances when he started to open up the game a little bit. Are we going to see that in the second half?
Well, Adrian, we feel like we have to open it up some in the second half, but we're playing like we've never been to a bowl game, so we've got to relax and do little things right and quit trying so hard and have some fun. We're really uptight the first half. Our defense didn't play very well until right before the half. Offensively, we're uptight. We'd make some plays, we'd start having fun, and then it's like we'd be uptight and not get that done. So we got to help Mike Thomas. We're going to let him go early. Jason Stanisak's a good player for us. If we can't help Mike get on some rhythm, we'll come with Jason. Got to throw more play action on first down, but you got to hit those things and make some big plays. The thing we are is we're fortunate to only be down 14-0 by the way we played the first half. So we've told our guys we get something in this second half to open it up. We get it back to 14-7. The North Carolina team that's 8-3 hadn't been here yet, so we need to play better the second half.
All right, so we are going to see Stanisak. What will he bring them to this game? A little bit more passing ability?
No, Mike Thomas is a great player. We just got to get Mike to settle down. If Mike can settle down in the second half, this hadn't been his fault. We got to get a lot of guys helping him. If he struggles a little bit here, we'll take some pressure off him by letting Jason play, because they've been a great 1-2 combination throughout the year.
All right, got to crank it up defensively as well.
Got to do better defensively. You win games by running the football and playing defense, and they've done what they wanted to against our defense. So we've got to stop them more. We got to stay on the field offensively and make some big plays. Biggest thing is we got to play with more confidence and have some fun.
All right, sir. Good luck in the second half. Appreciate your time. Ron, back to you, sir.
Well, that kind of answers our question, Adrian. What we summed up at the end of the first half, and the fact that Mike said, he talked about North Carolina having been a while since they've been to a bowl game, and their head coach just said the same thing, that they were acting like they had never been here before.
Well, the purpose of halftime is to take a break and to get your team in that locker room, make adjustments. I think you'll see a different North Carolina team in the second half.
Here's a comparison of the quarterbacks in the first half. Plump 11 of 15. Plump was at a time 11 of 12, and then he went errant on 3 straight passes. Thomas 6 of 12, and you see the difference in yardage, 131 to 53. And in Plump's behalf, he lost an 82-yard touchdown And I don't remember what the other one was, Mike, but he had a couple of touchdown passes that were called back because of penalties. His numbers could be astronomical here at halftime.
When you look at those statistics, you know one thing also, that Mississippi State is protecting Greg Plump. North Carolina is not doing a good job in the offensive line of protecting their quarterback, Mike Thomas. They're overextending, and they're getting hurt on quick moves by the defensive line of Mississippi State.
More stats from the first half and what happened in that first 30 minutes, and pretty self-explanatory. Rushing yardage, North Carolina 70, 95 for Mississippi State, but passing yardage only 53 for Carolina at 140 for Mississippi State. So the totals 235 to 123, and the average on first down, that also says a lot.
Well, Mac Brown had a good point there with Adrian. He said he's going to throw some play action on first down. If they can hit those play action passes, Mike Thomas, then that'll open up Natrone Means. He started off in great shape, had some good runs early, and then Jackie Sherrill and his Mississippi State defense put the skids on Natrone.
Well, the other thing that happened in North Carolina is Means, not only is he getting banged around by the defense, but he's an asthmatic, and he gets an asthma attack on the sideline. So the youngster really has had to guard in every direction as far as having some tough luck in the first half.
You're right, Ronnie. This man has to be concerned, Jackie Sherrill, even though he looks very calm right here, to only be ahead 14-0 and have the great field position that he had, the 2 passes called back. I still think North Carolina's in this game. They just have to, as Mac Brown said, have some fun. Enjoy yourself. You're in a bowl game. Play loose.
The point that you make with North Carolina getting the football here in the third quarter, should they be able to take the ball down and get points, particularly a touchdown, all of a sudden this would be just a 7-point football game, and Mississippi State has dominated so far, and that's all they'd have to show for it.
Should be ahead 28-0.
Yep. Mississippi State trying to put the Southeastern Conference up 6-0 in postseason play. Interesting, I was just talking with Roy Kramer at halftime, the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference, and I asked him about the reaction from the playoff in the SEC, and he said extremely good. I asked him if he'd been getting calls from other conferences. He said, I have had feelers. And I reminded him, I said, for all the clubs that fuss about having to play that extra game, Alabama won a national championship and Florida won huge in their game, and he smiled and he said, believe me, I was pleased both of those things happened because there were some coaches that were concerned about having to play that extra game.
A lot of people probably don't remember Roy Kramer was a very successful football coach at Central Michigan, so he understands the football coaching world, and I don't think he would have went to the playoff if he felt it would hurt his teams in the SEC, and the SEC really is riding a high right now, and they have an outstanding commissioner in Roy Kramer.
That's Gardner getting ready to kick it off here. Marcus Wald, you got to look at him just a moment ago, number 14 from North Carolina. Headgear's being held high, and we're about to open this one up in the second half of the 25th Peach Bowl from the Georgia Dome. Gardner again, 5 yards deep in the end zone, and Wald's going to bring it out. Will not make the 20. He's out to the 17. Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us?
Ron, I've got something from Jackie Sherrill's locker room. Here's the indication. On defense, they think they've got it going with the unit taking the field now. However, on offense, I think it's very important to get 4 to 5 yards on first down. So expect a combination, actually, of misdirection, finesse, and power. What that may mean is some of that trap and counter ISO they almost beat the national champion with.
Well, we have to remember, Mississippi State scored more points on Alabama than anybody else on their schedule this year. Means, big opening, 5, 10, 15.
Ron, if you look at the sideline now, North Carolina players with the towels in their hands. Mac Brown got a message across to them. Now, whether they're going to be successful or not, I don't know. But I know this. They're a little bit more excited on that sideline. Natrone Means, number 20. Good block by the fullback, Mike Fulkerson, number 34. Again, look at the yardage he gets after he gets hit.
Winds up actually with 17 on the carry. Had 60 yards in the first half. Means again, puts the head down, breaks it across the 40, and he is to the 43. Mark Woodard and Daniel Boyd combining in the stop. Those are the updated stats now. 12 carries, 84 yards.
I mentioned that North Carolina had trouble protecting the passer in the first half. It just seemed to me like they overextend themselves on pass protection. So Natrone Means can get hot running the sprint draw. That'll help pass protection for the North Carolina offensive line.
First man through. Walkerson. He's going to have the first down as he barrels across the 45. Juan Long, a junior out of Tupelo, Mississippi, makes the stop with Keevan Henry.
Now let's see if he goes on first down now. He has good field position. See if he throws a play action pass here with Mike Thomas. Talked about it to Adrian Karsten. He'd like to throw on first down. Play action. You're successful with a couple runs. Now would be a good time to throw the play action pass.
Play action to Means. He's going to go on top, but he's got a man wide open. Caught at the 5, down at the 1, Bucky Brooks. .54 yards.
Well, you know who you have to give credit to for this play? Natrone Means, because he had success on first down, and now all of a sudden you get Mississippi State defensive backs peeking a little bit into the backfield. You get a good fake by Mike Thomas. Now he sets up and throws the football. Good concentration here by Bucky Brooks because there were hands in his face. Kelvin Knight almost deflected that football.
Now North Carolina with a player injured, and they have had to call a timeout. That's Curtis Parker, the junior tackle, number 72, who is coming off the field, and he has an injured left arm. Try to get a report on him as Parker comes out, and North Carolina with a first and goal, the ball just inside the 1. Walkerson going to be stopped right in his tracks. Jimmy Miles is the first man through. Pete Jenkins with that worried look on his face. His ball club's got to do it twice more and make him go for a field goal.
He's got those wrinkled eyebrows. When you get coaching, you get nervous. You get those wrinkled eyebrows. But Pete Jenkins can coach defensive linemen. He did it for many years at LSU. And here he's challenging his defensive line. He's a very excitable football coach.
That throw by Thomas, his longest of the year. Second and goal. Means touchdown North Carolina. Now the point comes home that we were making just a moment ago, and the reason you said Jackie Sherrill still had to be concerned. In a game that they have dominated, all of a sudden, a minute or 2.5 minutes into the third quarter, and they lead by extra point is good, 7 points.
Well, you let a young team get back in the ball game as badly as they played in the first half, you're going to have some problems.
One more look at the touchdown as we take a timeout. 12:39 left, third quarter. Means scores. It is 14-7 Mississippi State. We'll be right back. ESPN's presentation of the 1993 Peach Bowl is brought to you by your Toyota dealer, who invite you to discover the all-new Corolla. Discover Corolla again. And by HBO, it could only happen here. The Mississippi State cheerleaders holding up signs that say make noise. And you can see back behind the North Carolina players the blue that is being waved as Natrone Means has just scored his 14th rushing touchdown of the year. Pooch kick, very high and short. At the 25-yard line is taken. Whistles are blown, and we didn't see a fair catch. Tay Galloway made the catch, and they're going to spot him dead at the 26-yard line.
When you get the running game going, here's the effect it has on defensive backs. Number 36, Walt Harris, is the corner. As the receiver, Bucky Brooks, comes off. Now, if we stop it right there, he's peeking in at the run. Now he's beat deep. Just a little move where he stopped, and the safety, Kelvin Knight, also bit on the run. Could not get back to help him.
Clanton had actually called for the fair catch, Mike, on the kickoff. So the minute that it was taken in by Galloway, that's the reason the play was stopped at the 26. Play action. A deep curl again. Harris is there, and they will bump him out of bounds, but that's good for 15 yards. 4 catches for him. It's Baskerville on the stop. That play, with the speed and agility of the Mississippi State wide receivers, appears to be there all night.
Well, here's the problem for North Carolina. When you start to the right side with the option fake, the secondary rolls to that side. That means the corner on the back side is in 3 deep coverage. That route is there all night because there's no help in the flat area. Greg Plump is looking at number 41, Ray Jacobs. He pretty well can draw the coverage from just watching where Ray Jacobs lines up. And he's calling his plays off the number 41's alignment.
Jacobs replacing Jonathan Perry, who was injured back in the first half. Over the middle, ball is incomplete. Went right through the hands of Clanton. Maybe a little bit high and behind him, but he had his hands on it. And in fact, the linebacker was looking to make the hit rather than the interception. He might have gone with the tip drill there and wound up in good shape.
They're trying the delays in the inside, but the routes that are open for Watson Brown now are the outside routes to Harris and Orlando Truitt because of the 3 deep zone. Watson's calling the play again. Greg Plump's looking over to him. See, Ron, you made a good point. He's got time because of the substitution, the way the play called.
Pressure from the backside, and they sent the corner. Bernardo Harris, actually the outside linebacker, I beg your pardon. He's got a corner's number.
And that's how you negate what Mississippi State's doing. You have to disguise your secondary. Bernardo Harris, Watson Brown didn't think because of his alignment he would come. And all he's doing is drawing a bead on that 10, the number of Greg Plump.
It's third down and 10, and they need the ball just across midfield to the 49.
Shovel draw or Willie Harris, the outside receiver, number 87.
Flag goes down, pass incomplete. And from where it's thrown, I would imagine offensive holding.
Ron, this is a different North Carolina Tar Heel football team in the start of the second half. They're getting off blocks a little bit better than they did in the first half. They're a little bit more active on defense. Carl Torbush brought to corner Bernardo Harris, number 24, making some adjustments to the Mississippi State offense.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the flag. Repeat, third down.
They're going to take the penalty rather than make them kick it away.
I think they feel like that they have the momentum on their side right now, and they're going to give Greg Plump real long yardage. They're going to play field position game right here. 72 on White, Jesse James. The hold on Ray Jacobs, number 41. We'll see if this decision pays off, Ron, to take the penalty.
Coming with the blitz. Gets his pass backside to Clanton, and the big tight end will ramble just short of the 40, and boy, does he get belted out of bounds. Mike, I'll tell you what it also shows. It shows the great respect, I guess, that they have for Todd Jordan, because if Jordan had been kicking from where that line of scrimmage was, they still could have been pinned deep.
Well, they're back there anyway, but they were playing for the turnover on Greg Plump.
Troy Barnett, the reserve nose guard who replaced Bolden, is down and is injured at the 16. As you see Bolden coming back into the lineup. 14-7 our score if you went away for a bit. Mississippi State on top, but North Carolina has come back here in this third quarter.
ain't no taking on my shoulder. I shouldn't have said that. Please, don't. Don't. Fuck that shit.
Number 91, the nose guard, Troy Barnett, using a swim move to try to get in, and he's being blocked by Shea Bill, number 69, just kind of fell on him. But he's okay and off to the sideline.
Jordan to punt. Belton is back deep. They got it. Bracey Walker. Bracey Walker with the block.
Well, they came close on the last punt block. They do a nice job of disguising. Right here, they're going to come from the left side. Number 27, Bracey Walker, is able to get penetration. Ron, they came close the last time, and they're moving the guy in late and trying to confuse the count of Mississippi State on their man protection.
Well, let's see if they go up on top right away.
I'd give the ball to Natrone Means right now in the first down.
Now they're waiting for the change to be moved. That's the reason for the stoppage here. Mac Brown's heart's got to be pumping a little faster. 11:29 left in the third quarter. His team came into the third quarter 14-0 down and totally outplayed. And right now he's in position to come back and tie this game. For Walker, that's his third block of his career.
Ron, I'd put the ball in number 20's hands here on first down.
There they go with him right up the middle. He'll have a couple. Daniel Boyd is the man at the bottom of the stack. Also number 90, Arlie Gibson.
Halftime adjustments by Mississippi State. I'm sure they talked about the punt block because they came so close on the first punt to blocking it.
Jackie Sherrill looks on. Option play, short side of the field. Going to be tackled at the 17-yard line. It's going to be third down. It's Henry and Brown making the stop.
Tried to put formation into the boundary because Mississippi State does not like to put their strong safety into the short side. When the ball's on the left hash, they're trying to overload it and try to get the extra blocker into the boundary. Look for a screen here, Ron. They're really effective, good effective screen team through the year in the ACC.
Blitz straight up the middle. Gonna have to hurry. Drills it. Almost intercepted. That was Frankie Luster who almost came away with it. And Juan Long on the pressure.
North Carolina is having trouble protecting Mike Thomas. It looks to me like the offensive line kind of overextends themselves. Juan Long, number 40, on a blitz. Lucky that ball wasn't picked off. Frankie Luster, number 4, the strong safety, and sets up a field goal situation. Good defense by Mississippi State.
Vignetti to attempt the field goal. He will be kicking it from the 24, so a 34-yard attempt. No good. Off to the right. So we'll take a break. Mississippi State was in harm's way, and they just avoided it. We'll be right back to Atlanta. 14-7, Mississippi State on top, and Adrian Karsten, let's get a report from you.
Well, Ron, I'll tell you something. The difference between 3 and 7 points could be due to the injury to big number 72 offensive tackle Curtis Parker for the Tar Heels. It's a deep bruise to his left shoulder. He wanted to go back in there. You got to remember, it's behind Parker at 290 pounds where Natrone Means has had his most success tonight.
No, that's an excellent point. Pete Jenkins, his ball club, with a monumental effort defensively there to keep him off the scoreboard after the blocked punt. Tony James on the carry will take it just short of the 25. It's Morton who comes up big to make the stop.
Mississippi State has such a size advantage in the offensive line. When you go across that front, it's 294, 292, 285 at the center, 287 at the right guard, and 307 pounds at the right tackle.
That's an average of 293, Mike. They do. They have a huge size advantage between the offensive line and defense.
And they manhandled North Carolina, the defensive line.
That is really nicely played by Mock and Golden. And also, you could see Jacobs taking the quarterback totally out of the play immediately.
The difference in the second half to this point is North Carolina's moving around a little bit on defense and not allowing Mississippi State to make the call from the sideline. Disguising better, a little more active, a little bit more stemming up front, and a little bit more blitzing outside.
Watson Brown with a third down. The line to make is out to the 20. The 30, I beg your pardon. Pass is complete. Orlando Truitt at the 38. Crocker with the cover, but not close enough. 3 catches for him now.
He just gets open, Ron. He's out of Parker High School in Birmingham, Alabama. You know, watch him run, try to run off Sean Crocker. He tried to have contact with him. There's just too much of a separation after he did try to make contact with Orlando. And Orlando just curls inside.
Truitt's another one that is a junior that could be declaring on the 6th. Barnett steps up and steps that one as Prince, just as he got the handoff, was going to be hit at the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a 2nd down and long.
Troy Barnett. I talked about line movement against Jackie Sherrill's offensive football team. Here's 91 right here. Watch him slant inside now and make the play. Beat the block of the center and tackle William Prince in the backfield. That's the line movement that they're having a little bit more success with in the second half.
Midway point of the 3rd quarter. 14-7 North Carolina. Or Mississippi State, I beg your pardon. Wanted Harris down at the 10, and it was well overthrown. Bracey Walker had the cover, and you can see Harris got turned totally around, as did Walker. Marcus Jones applying the pressure.
Both these teams are young football teams, Ron, and by playing the day after New Year's when all the other bowl games are over, they're kind of just starting the new year and want to make a statement. Jackie Sherrill's team would like to be highly rated, and so would Mac Brown's young football team when the next season starts.
Mississippi State 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. James hit and stopped at the line of scrimmage. Bernardo Harris. Now Mississippi State very quickly getting on the field with the special teams. They're not going to give North Carolina time to line up and have an opportunity to block. In fact, North Carolina still has their back turned to the field. Look, they're still getting set.
Watch the wide men to the left, how they'll try to cheat in. They've got it again.
They got it again. Bracey Walker again, and this time he'll score.
Ron, they're fouling up the count. the count of Mississippi State's punt team. Going to see coming from the left side, number 27, Bracey Walker is not picked up, and special teams has turned this football game around for North Carolina.
Vignetti tries to tie it. He's got it.
Blue, Bracey Walker. When you're a man protection team, sometimes you can get confused on who to block. Number 27, Bracey Walker, you see how they step out. They had their count fouled up, and Bracey Walker not only blocks the punt, but carries it into the end zone.
That's it at real speed. That's the second time in his North Carolina career that he has blocked one for a touchdown. We mentioned a minute ago that he had 3. Now that's 4. And Mike, the really interesting thing about that is we mentioned that Jordan and his kicking team came sprinting on the field, and they tried to get lined up before North Carolina even turned around.
Well, the umpire won't allow him to do that because he was setting the football, so North Carolina had time. This has been like all our bowl games. They've all been comebacks and tight football games. Jackie knows. I'll tell you what he's feeling right now. He knows he had a couple opportunities of breaking this game open, slipped by with officials' calls, and so he needs to regain his team's momentum. The punt block they're looking at, that's the punt team going over their blocking assignments, and they are confused. The problem is they're going to have to punt again.
Again, the high pooch kick. And the 24, Galloway. Well, tomorrow night, catch TV's Harvest Hits on ESPN's Top Ranked Boxing. The feature bout, Olympic gold medalist Oscar De La Hoya will take on Paris Alexander tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. 6-round lightweights. Tomorrow evening right here on ESPN. We've had some hard hits in this one tonight. But you're right, special teams, the things that have broken this one open for North Carolina in the second half. Caught from behind this time as Kurt Brown comes down the line of scrimmage for the tackle.
Sometimes it takes you a half to get used to playing in a bowl game. You get caught up in this crowd and the cowbells, and Mac Brown settled his team down at halftime. Now his brother on the other side, Watson Brown, has to figure some way to get this offense unleashed. Are they having fun now?
Well, we didn't see this kind of thing in the North Carolina sideline, particularly in the second quarter, but you're right. They are aroused. Play action. Zings it, has it complete at the 47-yard line, Harris. Now, I'll tell you, that is some agility, folks. He jumped. Almost a flat-footed jump after he had come set over a table, and there was a carton sitting on the other side. He came down on that and still stayed on his feet. Look at this. Jumps over the top of this. Whoops.
He almost took a couple officials of the Peach Bowl out.
yards on that completion. The biggest thing for Mississippi State, they took the North Carolina crowd out of it for a moment. Running play. 5 yards and now counted off at 10 for Kenny Roberts. Thigpen is there to make the stop, and where they're going to put it down actually is going to be a gain of about 8 to the 45-yard line.
I like the way Greg Plump is playing for Mississippi State. They're now, it's a 14-14 game. He looks like he's in control. Back at quarterback now, feeling a little bit more of a rhythm. He threw that pass to Willie Harris. As I look at him now, he looks to me like he's got pretty good control of this drive.
Prince is hit by Barnett. Well, Barnett has played a very good game tonight. Bolden started the same, but we've called Troy Barnett's name quite a bit. This is going to be close to the first down on the carry by Prince. It looks as though he'll have it, but they'll bring the chains in.
Look at this crowd, Ron. 1985, they had 29,000 people at the Peach Bowl. Robert Dale Morgan, Neil Cameron, and then the Chamber of Commerce took it over. I think this bowl game can be a top 4 bowl game. They need a title sponsor. But you look at this crowd, and you look at Mac Brown and Jackie Sherrill both said that the Peach Bowl people have been great. They've organized this bowl. This bowl is a bowl of the future.
You know, to back that up, Mike, the only other bowl game other than this one to be sold out was the Sugar Bowl last night. And we don't have the official numbers here, but it's over 71,000. As I mentioned, this is a can-do community. Atlanta gets things done.
And here's a coach trying to get it done right now. This short yardage play.
Straight ahead in the quarterback sneak, and he'll have it. Bolden is down at the bottom of the pile.
Greg Plump had so much success in the first half going to Orlando Truett. You have to think once he crosses the 50-yard line, now they're in North Carolina territory, that he'll start to look for number 80, Orlando Truett.
The big fullback is going to get mauled at the line of scrimmage. Michael Davis, no place to run. As Mississippi State thought they might cross them up and have the first guy through with the carry. But Jacobs and Mock were not fooled at all. Mike, you mentioned the list at halftime of guys that to look for in 1993. I'll tell you, young fella that really was impressive yesterday. We thought he was going to be good, but he really has taken a huge step forward, and that's Heath Shuler, the quarterback at Tennessee. Wow, how good can he be?
He can be great. He's got such a strong arm, and he's an option quarterback. Philip Fulmer has to be pleased with him at Tennessee.
7th play of the drive. Blitz coming up the middle this time. The pass is delivered and caught and then dropped with the tight end Clanton. And guess who hit him? Bracey Walker. Walker's been everywhere in the second half. I'll tell you somebody else who can't go away without talking about Ty Wheatley. In that Rose Bowl game yesterday, he was extremely impressive also for Michigan.
Well, there's a lot of good young players out there. And when you talk about young players, you have to talk Bracey Walker. He was second team when fall camp started. He's been one of the biggest surprises on this North Carolina football team. He has developed into an all-ACC player.
3rd down, the line to make, the North Carolina 32. Gets it away, almost picked up. Thomas Smith couldn't hold on, but it's kicking time for Mississippi State. 3:24 left in the 3rd quarter, tied at 14.
Well, here's been the biggest play of the night for North Carolina is their punt block team. Bracey Walker, number 27. This is a tough area to try to block Hero because you're not sure whether they're going to try to fake him. It looks like they're coming after him again.
Fair catch called for, signaled off, and it takes a Mississippi State bounce. And that touched a North Carolina player. That's Bulldog football, I believe, at the 15-yard line. Yes, it is. As the man had bounced off of, wasn't it?
Yeah, you always have a signal when you're punt returner, you make a call, you yell Peter, Peter, and that's the call that tells all your players to get away from the football. And obviously, Marcus Wall, freshman, did not hear the call.
You could see his head coach, rather than jumping him, had a smile on his face saying, You know better, I know, but it could cost him dearly. Running play is going to be dropped for a loss. His big pin hit Roberts as soon as he got the football. Mike, North Carolina was not getting nearly this kind of surge in the first half.
Playing a lot better in the defensive line. Tommy Thigpen, the Playboy preseason player, is able to take on the blocker and get rid of the blocker and make the play.
Pitch goes to Prince, tries to turn the corner. Going to be tackled at the 12-yard line, and Mississippi State came real close to having somebody in motion on that play just as the ball was snapped.
See, the Mississippi State player may have moved a little early, but he got away with it.
Third down. State 4 of 11 on third down conversion. They bring the blitz. Great protection to the offensive line. Now it breaks down and he's sacked at the 20. Steinbacher gets him at the 20-yard line. That is a coverage sack, though. The offensive line had done a good enough job. He looked, pumped, looked again, and that's when he was taken down. The second sack.
Well, you have to credit Carl Torbush, the defensive coordinator, because they're disguising. They're confusing Greg Plump and getting a little bit more of a rush than they had in the first half.
Gardner to attempt the field goal. They're going to place it down at the 26. Close to the 27. Plenty of distance with his leg, and he missed it. All of a sudden, the special teams for Mississippi State have cost them in this second half. We'll be right back. Mississippi State gets a chance to talk it over. Sleepy Robinson just to the left of your picture there, visiting with his teammates. Of course, Gardner just missing the field goal attempt right there. Sleepy injured against Florida on a Thursday night game we had on. Lost for the year, had to have knee surgery. North Carolina, Means breaks it big up the middle. That will be a run of 15 yards by Natrone Means.
Isolation play. You're going to watch the fullback, Mike Falkerstein, on the linebacker with the lead block. The linebacker steps up. There's the block by the fullback. Springs Natrone Means into the back. Number 34, Mike Falkerson, with a block on the linebacker, was the key block.
Close to the 40. Kevin Henry will come up and finish off Mike Thomas.
We talked about Mike Thomas in the first half. He may have been a little jittery, but he has really settled down here in the second half, and that's the story when you have a young quarterback, 6'2", 222-pound redshirt freshman. So he's settled down now. He's into the ball game and making some good decisions for Mac Brown.
Clock ticks down, 4 seconds, 3, now 2, and that is the end of the third quarter. So they are standing here at the Georgia Dome with 4 fingers high in the air. Let's take a break. 14 apiece in the Peach Bowl. Tied at 14 apiece as we head to this final 15 minutes. Mississippi State led at 14-0 at halftime, and North Carolina coming back to tie it in that third. Means hopping and skipping close to the first down. I don't think he's going to have it at the 44. Daniel Boyd is the man who wrapped him up.
He's the backside linebacker. Mike Fulkerson, number 34, takes care of the near side linebacker Juan Long, and really getting, Mac Brown's getting good blocking out of number 34, the fullback.
Well, we mentioned back at the beginning of the ball game at North Carolina 13-0 when Natrone Means rushes for 100 yards. Tonight he is at 106. We'll see if history will hold. Option. He'll have the first down, but barely anything more than that. As Thomas, Mississippi State did a good job of jamming that up. It looked as though they might have been real close to stopping him for not picking it up.
Juan Long had a shot at him in the backfield, but when you're 222 pounds, 6'2" quarterback, you're a little tough to bring down on that option play.
Thought it was interesting what he told Adrian at halftime. It told his guys he wanted them to have some fun, that they weren't doing it. They acted like they'd never been to a bowl game before. Well, they've settled down here in the second half. On first down, going to put it up, has a man there, and it's intercepted. 36 Walt Harris. Poorly thrown ball there. He just put it up into double coverage.
Looked like it was a checkoff, Ron, and I'm sure that Mac Brown's going to grab Mike Thomas when he comes over to the sideline here and just talk to him a little bit about maybe staying in the plays and rather than checking out, because not sure he wanted him to check out of this play. Walt Harris, number 36, you're right. Look at the coverage. I mean, he threw the deep ball, but Walt Harris has got him doubled up with Frankie Luster, number 4. So I think that Bill Clay's secondary baited Mike Thomas into this throw and caused a turnover.
So Mississippi State has an opportunity to cut into that North Carolina momentum. Good play action, going to go up on top. And that one is tipped away, and it was about to be intercepted. Baskerville knocked it away from his teammate. I believe it was Hitchcock who was lining up to make the interception.
I think Orlando Truitt got tripped on this play. And it's not going to get the call. I just think he ran into his feet may have got caught with Baskerville, but you're going to see him come. He's pretty good coverage here. Double coverage. Watch Orlando Truitt go down. No, he just tripped. Jimmy Hitchcock, number 18, and Cliff Baskerville, number 2, had that one covered well.
Pressure up the middle again. Shovel pass is caught. Going to go only for a couple of yards is Prince. Prince was having trouble getting out of the pack of people there. Troy Barnett again. Adrian Karsten, let's get an update from you.
Ron, I can really feel the momentum in North Carolina's favor here for a couple of different reasons, although they got an injured player coming off the field, and I'll update that shortly. On defense at the line, they're using their hands so well, getting off those blocks, getting up the field through those gaps. On offense, they're beginning to angle and reach block a little bit more, now that they got Curtis Parker back in the ball game. So let me check out that injury. I'll be back with you shortly.
All right, the injury is to Troy Barnett, and he has been playing a sensational game. Is drilled and intercepted on the pick. That's Baskerville. Touchdown, North Carolina. Baskerville started as a true freshman. He's never had a bigger one than that right there, though.
Your player that you like so well in this ball game, Bracey Walker, really made this play of number 27.
Extra point attempt is up, and he's good. Mike, one more look at this. This is a good pass. I thought he just got it knocked away from him.
Looked like he threw it a little bit too late. He had good pressure. Number 24, Bernardo Harris, is going to put pressure on. But now watch Bracey Walker with that hit. He's springs it right open, and then Cliff Baskerville with the interception and a touchdown.
See, he put it there, and with the
No, it was right on the money, but I think what Bracey Walker just makes the play. Watch Bracey Walker come up with a hit. Bang! He hits, puts his helmet right on the football. Now Cliff Baskerville with the one-hand catch. Chris Jones lets the ball get away, and now some good blocking by North Carolina.
So Bracey Walker
He's everywhere.
Has blocked a kick and scored a touchdown, made a hit that caused a fumble for another touchdown by his teammate.
And when you look all over the country, if you're a young football player aspiring to be a football player in grade school or junior high right now, he started this season. Look at this. He not only can play football, he's a gymnast, but he started the football season as the second team player. He didn't allow that to hurt him or stop him, and all of a sudden he's the player of the game so far in this football contest.
Fourth interception of the season.
Watson
by
Brown.
Baskerville, and it's a 44-yard return officially, they're now saying, Mike.
Watson Brown trying to settle Greg Plump down a little bit now. He knows he threw a good pass. You're right. That ball was right on the money. Bracey Walker just made a big play, and he probably got about an 8-5 on that flip. Something about the Peach Bowl brings out close ball games and a few crazies too on the field, but brings out
just
close
keep
games.
running out on the field for no reason. Again, they pooch the kick, and it'll go out of bounds. So Mississippi State will get it from the 35-yard line.
I don't think you've seen the end of Mississippi State scoring either. Too powerful an offensive football team. And Jackie Sherrill's been in bowl games. He'll settle his bunch down on that sideline. They have respect for the kickoff return team of Mississippi State because they do not want to kick it deep. Hurt them there because the ball will be on the 35-yard line.
Well, they probably watched last night's Sugar Bowl game. They had already made up their mind, but you know there were some kicks to some folks in that ball game out there between Williams and Palmer. You keep doing it, you're going to get burned, and I guess North Carolina just doesn't want to take a chance on getting burned. Option again back into the boundary, and he'll have a gain of 5. Now make it 6 as they'll spot him out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Prince was hit by Morton and also Bernardo Harris. And if you have just joined us or had been away and you saw Mississippi State on top 14-0, what has happened here in the second half, North Carolina has used a blocked kick that they took it for a touchdown. They blocked another punt but got no points out of that one. Then an intercepted pass for a touchdown. They've scored 21 unanswered points, and it's the Heels on top, 21-14. He will have the Mississippi State first down. Greg Black, freshman out of Gastonia, holding on to his ankles.
Now they're going back to their game plan of trying to run the football and use the big offensive line here in the fourth quarter. That's the advantage that they have. The brothers, Watson and Mack, after each other tonight.
Play action, a good one, and they got him wide open. Roberts, and he will have another State first down as he goes inside the 43 to the 42. Jimmy Hitchcock is there to make the stop.
Kind of drive you would expect out of a veteran team. Just be very patient. An eternity on the scoreboard clock with 12 minutes. Greg Plump, the junior quarterback who was brought into action when Sleepy Robinson was hurt, is in total control of his offensive football team.
Going to be Davis and James in the backfield this time. Clock runs with 11 minutes and 45 seconds now to play in this one. They give it to the first man through, and there is nothing for Davis. And in fact, he's going to lose one. Troy Barnett, who was shaken up back in the ball game, and he makes the stop. Also, you can see Jacobs getting off the stack. In fact, Davis might have been shaken up a little bit. He is going off the field kind of gingerly across the way. I mentioned that North Carolina has got 21 points unanswered in the second half. They've still only had 3 offensive possessions in the half. They only had the ball 5 minutes and 14 seconds. It's because of the block kicks and the interception. On the reverse, James, and he'll be tackled just inside the 40. Sean Crocker came over to make the hit on him.
Coming off the Ole Miss game, when you play your rival the last game of the year, Jackie Sherrill team lost a tough one to Billy Brewer and the Ole Miss Rebels. Trying to rebound here and get a win in this bowl game so they can go in their off-season program and spring practice on a positive note.
Here's another team you got to play credit to. A shutout ball game the other night, shut out the Air Force Academy. In fact, Ole Miss beat Mississippi State. They had 7 turnovers in the ball game and still won it. I mean, that's got to be a big rival.
You shut out an Air Force team of Fisher DeBerry. Now you've accomplished something also.
Yep. Blitz coming from the outside on the play action. Right over the middle. He's got it. Inside the 30-yard line. There's Roberts, and that's enough for the Mississippi State first down.
Talking to Carl Torbush, and he was talking about the Ole Miss tape. They exchanged all 11 game tapes this year, but he said what he did was he just took the tapes that when Greg Plump became the quarterback the last 5 games, and he said their attack is a lot like Ole Miss's, so they just went with that tape.
Option play down the line. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play. Now Steinbacher will wind up making the tackle, but Mike, you could see the trailing from the backside. North Carolina's really getting some great hustle from some big people in the interior part of that line. Particularly, it was Marcus Jones, number 71, who was trailing on that play. They just seem to be more intense, more focused this half than they were in the first half.
Well, they had to get used to being in a bowl. It's been 100 years. You know, so this group has never been in a bowl game, so they probably were in awe a little bit of this crowd and the bowl scene and preparation, and it took them a half.
On second down, there's the shuttle pass. Roberts, and he will be stopped with a really good open field tackle by Bernardo Harris.
Watson Brown's probably thinking they have slipped you that ball. Kenny Roberts, run straight. Don't try to break it outside. Try to get as much as you can get up the football field. Mississippi State looks a little tired to me also.
Fred McCrary, number 6, will come into the lineup for Mississippi State as Roberts will go out. The trainers came off the sideline, but he signaled to them he was okay and could come off on his own.
If there's a go-to receiver on this team, Willie Harris averages 16.4 yards per catch coming into this game. Number 87.
Play action pressure. He was hit just as the ball was delivered, and it's Bernardo Harris who slipped his blocker. Had he not, it looked as though State had at least 1 receiver open.
Well, you talk about Bracey Walker, but Bernardo Harris, number 24, is coming on the blitz, and you see number 76, John James, too slow coming off the block to try to pick up Harris. Mississippi State's only got 10 men on the field right now. They should get this one blocked. They should call timeout. They only have 10 players on the field.
Gardner to attempt 41-yard field goal. The flag comes down plenty of distance, and he's good.
I'm not sure they had enough guys on the line of scrimmage. And that's what they may get called for.
That's it. Procedure against Mississippi State.
You know,
boy, special teams. Jackie Sherrill, you could just boil a pot of water on his head right now.
So there's only 10 guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. And that's the call. Jackie Sherrill was on the sideline trying to get the timeout. And Ron, you made a point earlier. Special teams has blown up in the face of Jackie Sherrill tonight.
And they have been so good. They've been very good on special teams.
Well, the guy who's the holder counts the players. He should have made the timeout, but he didn't count the number on the field. Now let's see if it hurts him.
47-yard attempt. Plenty of distance, and he's got this one.
Got away with one.
So let's take a timeout with our new score. 21-17 North Carolina. We'll be back to Atlanta after this. ESPN's presentation of the 1993 Peach Bowl is brought to you by Volkswagen, who brings you 3 new cars engineered to recharge the human spirit. And by Thrifty Car Rental. For worldwide reservations, call 1-800-4CARS. Well, a good look inside the Georgia Dome. First time that they played this game indoors. By the way, here are the official numbers. A previous high, 59,322 last year. That game between East Carolina and North Carolina State. Tonight, 69,125 at the Georgia Dome. New record for the Georgia Dome and also for the Peach Bowl.
I think it's a great decision on the Peach Bowl's part to play the day after New Year's.
Well, I enjoyed what you said in the Atlanta paper today. The fact that you always suffered a little letdown after January the 1st. You thought you didn't have anything to watch, and tonight you do, and we got a good one going. SEC trying to remain undefeated in conference or in bowl play. But that's not just what Jackie Sherrill's fighting for right now. He wants to prove a point. They got one kick block, didn't give up any points. Vigas came right back, got it blocked again. This time gave up a touchdown. And then the special teams a moment ago came close to costing them again, but they were able to get the field goal by this man right here, Gardner. Marcus Wall. Look at him. Marcus also had his troubles on special teams tonight. He did not get away from a punt that was not going to be caught. Came off his feet and was recovered by Mississippi State. Adrian Karsten, let's get an update from you.
Ron, I'll tell you something. The character and the courage being shown by the Carolina team here tonight is unbelievable. 14 players have had the flu this week. They're going to bed early, had to get up early in the morning to practice. I don't mean to be indelicate. There's a player over here who's been thrown up. He wipes off his face, wants to get back in the ball game and take somebody on. That's the kind of attitude that makes you come back and win a bowl game.
Well, they battled some tough odds. But they still got 8 minutes and 42 seconds to take care of. Pitch goes to Means, and he takes it right up the middle. He'll go for 6.
When you have a big back over 230 pounds, this is the time you need him to perform, because you got a tired football team on the other side defensively, so that 230 should be tough to bring down.
Mike, the time of possession in the second half because of the way that North Carolina has scored. Carolina's only had the ball 5 minutes and 14 seconds. Mississippi State 14 minutes and 58. But they only have 3 points to show for it. Means will have the first down and will take it out to the 36. It's Daniel Boyd holding on.
That's what I'm talking about there. Missed tackles and not wrapping him up. Walt Harris has a chance, number 36. Now, watch him break outside. Natrone Means, he gets a good block from Sean Hocker, number 78. He's going to lead. There's the block. Good block. But see now, there's the wrap up by Walt Harris, and he just ran right through the tackle. It's the yards after he runs through tackles that make him dangerous.
You could hear the headgears come together at the 43. First man there was Jerome Brown.
They continue to work the right side of the line and the right side into the short side of the field with formation into the boundary. And I think it's amazing Jerome Brown played this ball game. Last night they didn't think he was going to play, and he's been a stalwart in the defensive line.
That's right. As late as 11 o'clock last night, you got that report from them, because it's one of the first things you said at the production meeting this morning, is that they were extremely doubtful that he would be able to go. He not only has played, though, he's contributed a lot. Pitch to Means, and they'll stop it after only 2. Frankie Luster trying to get off the block, and he does. And now it's going to be 3rd down for North Carolina.
Talk about Jerome Brown, number 98. You're going to see him come inside, but now what you want a defensive lineman to do is get flat down the line of scrimmage and try to make that play on pursuit. He didn't get to the backfield. He got just flat where you want him, and he was there to try to make the play.
He's the oldest player on the Mississippi State squad. He's 26 years of age.
You think those cheerleaders are calling for those cowbells now?
Means, and he will be tripped up. Number 90, Arlie Gibson, got a hand on him. And North Carolina will have to kick.
5:52 on the clock, Ron. A lot of time for the Mississippi State offense. It's easy for me to say.
Tony James is back in a deep safety at the 23-yard line. Good coverage kick, and James is under it at the 20. Stopped at the 29, so let's take a timeout. 21-17, North Carolina. In 1984, Purdue, led by quarterback Jim Everett's 3 touchdown passes, led Virginia by 10 points at the half. Cavalier quarterback Don Mikowski worked his magic, passing for 1 score and running for another. In the end, George Welch watched kicker Kenny Stadlin provide the margin of victory with a last-minute field goal as Virginia won their first bowl appearance ever. So look at this, Mike, as far as the number of close games. We had the one last year, 37-34. The last 3 games, we got the winning score with less than 2 minutes remaining. In fact, the last 5 years margin of victory, 3.6. And we stand with a 4-point game right now. Pass is caught by Harris at the 47-yard line. 6 catches for him, and let's take a look at the end zone angle on this.
The pressure that has hurt Mississippi State, you're going to see the pressure come from this side over here where James, number 72, is going to pick up the block. Watch him come off now and make the block on number 24, Bernardo Harris. Now that allows Greg Plump the time to throw the man coverage route to Willie Harris.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15.
You can see the look on Coach Sherrill's face. You pick up a huge first down, you move it up close to midfield, and then somebody moves in the offensive line. So now you scrimmage with a 1st and 15. But you have to be mindful of when you got a receiver like Truitt and also Harris, they could just turn it into a touchdown play on any snap of the football. And this little guy right here as well. But North Carolina will defense it, and Tommy Thigpen just wraps up Roberts before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
That's why Tommy Thigpen was a Playboy preseason All-American, because he moves so well and he really knows the keys of a linebacker. He read that play and was able to make the tackle, and Kenny Roberts did not allow him to get started, Ron.
Loss of 1, so it'll be 2nd down and just over 15 to pick up the first. sideline, just overthrown. This time he was looking for Truitt, the other side of the other part of that combination of receivers I was talking about. Crocker had to cover, but he couldn't stop him.
Almost makes this catch. A great receiver. Watch him try to stretch out with his feet in bounds, and he just can't hold on. Almost a great catch.
Third down, and the line that Mississippi State needs is the 42.5. Good protection, zips it over the middle, and it's caught. That's Harris. He will have the Mississippi State first down at the 35.
Wow, it's a game of inches, Ron, because they almost got a hand on this. The linebackers, Willie Harris with a good catch, but well-covered throw, and they almost got the linebacker to it. That ball was thrown hard. You watch Greg Plump, number 10, zings this ball in, but watch him zing it right in between that linebacker. Willie Harris with a nice job of coming back to the ball.
And number 29, who's on the top of that pile and winds up on the bottom, Thomas Smith, is the player who is shaken up. 7 receptions for Harris now, 108 yards.
He's the receiver they like to go to for the first down. The third down receiver, 16.4 yards per catch coming into this ball game.
Well, the SEC streak of 5-0 on the line as we are under 4 minutes to play. But Mississippi State is driving. They trail by 4, 21-17. The pitch late, but it paid off. Close to a state first down at the 26. Crocker on the stop defensively.
Well, I thought I was watching Oklahoma for a while there, the Barry Switzer days. And they ran the option, they ran it downhill. They got away with it this time. Greg Plump with a late pitch, a smart pitch, because it worked out. Watson looks calm, but I'll bet his stomach was around his throat on that option play.
And his brother Mac pacing on the near sideline. Roberts breaks off one tackle, and then there's going to be set down at the 25. And from where they have shown the mark, it's going to be very close to the first down. Walker, one of the first men to help out there. Thigpen also got a piece of it. Now Thigpen is going to come off the field.
Watson, Brown, and Jackie Sherrill are thinking about the fact they need a drive here with some good mix. Mac Brown now has to put his thoughts to when his team gets the ball back. If Mississippi State scores, he's going to have his 3 timeouts, but less than 2 minutes probably to score.
Sets in the pocket. There's the pressure. The pass is intercepted by North Carolina's Perry Muck. And Ray Jacobs caused it. He was the man with the pressure, number 41.
Greg Plump knows he made a mistake. There's still 2:32 on the clock, Ron, and 3 timeouts left. So it's now turned over to the Mississippi State defense. Ray Jacobs, number 41, puts pressure on Greg Plump, but he just can't seem to pick up his receiver. It's a delay, and he threw it too soon, and the receiver, number 2, William Prince, stopped on the route.
Mike, Ray Jacobs is the player that Adrian was referring to that was throwing up just a few minutes ago and is still in the ball game and is the one who applied the pressure. Means with a bolt up the middle. Boyd is right there. So North Carolina takes it over with not what you would call super field position, but they don't care. They want to run 2 minutes and 15 seconds off that clock and claim a victory for that gentleman there.
It's interesting how Jackie Sherrill called timeout on that last play. He has a player right beside him on the bench, and he ran him right to the official, the nearest to his sideline.
So we'll take the break with them. 21-17, North Carolina will be right back to the Georgia Dome after this. Well, the two combatants here tonight, Jackie Sherrill and Mack Brown. 2:20 left in the ball game. And for the man on the left, Mike, what has happened to Jackie Sherrill's ball club in the second half? On 7 possessions, 2 blocked punts, 1 missed field goal, and 2 interceptions.
They need to hold Natrone Means in check here and not allow North Carolina to get a first down.
And they set the reverse. Brooks at the 25-yard line, and he'll be manhandled by Woodard.
Jackie Sherrill has a designated guy making the timeouts.
So we'll take it with him. 2:07 left in the ball game. 21-17 Carolina. Mike, what a metamorphosis as far as the first half to the second. 14 points, 14-0 at halftime, and then 14 and then 7. 21-3. They've outscored them in the second half. And as we look at the Peach Bowl champion trophy, time of possession, second half, Mississippi State 21 minutes 14 seconds. North Carolina 8:51. But there's a block punt for a touchdown and an interception for a touchdown down in there that made the difference. Zings the pass, and that is incomplete. Corey Holiday, who has been for the most part silenced tonight, was the intended receiver.
It's a big play because it stops the clock and allows Mississippi State the 1 timeout to keep for their offense. Mack Brown was playing very aggressive, though, trying to pick up the first down with his quarterback, Mike Thomas. Now if you're Mississippi State, you have to go after this block, although you've got Tony James back here, a great return man.
They've been trying to either get the ball high, pressure up the middle, they get it away, and he gets it high again. Good coverage kick. James at the 39, and he will be stopped after a gain of only 1. 36 on the punt and 1 on the return. And Carolina has tried to stay away from a situation of kicking to the young man because of just what he can do to you so quickly.
Well, they tried to go for the block there, which means you're back there by yourself. Get what you can get. Now they've got to get the ball to Willie Harris and Orlando Truitt. They have to be the 2 featured receivers in this formation for Greg Plump.
Mississippi State 61 yards away. Pass is incomplete. Boy, what a stick at the 45-yard line, and I believe that's Jimmy Hitchcock, yes, who put the lumber on him. Wow.
Jimmy Hitchcock saw the receiver coming down the middle. Good lick on Kenny Roberts, number 29. Pretty good coverage when you got 3 around 1. Pretty good coverage for North Carolina.
That's complete across the 50 to Harris and down to the 43-yard line.
Harris just keeps coming up with plays. Number 87. Carl Torbush, defensive coordinator, said he's the guy they like to go to in key situations.
1 timeout left for Mississippi State. 8th catch of the ball game for Harris, 126 yards. Clock is running again, under 130. Pass overthrown, and Plump, boy, he took a hit just as he delivered the football back at the 45-yard line. That's Austin Robbins, the big junior out of Washington, D.C., who belted him. Austin is 6'6", 287.
Still have 1 timeout left, Mississippi State. With 1:24 on the clock, 1 timeout becomes big for them.
for a moment, and now is going to be dropped for a loss. And it's Austin Robbins again, big number 98. And Jackie Sherrill has to use the final timeout for the Bulldogs. So let's take a timeout. We'll come back for the final 73 seconds from Atlanta after we pause for this. Jackie Sherrill continues to pace in the sideline. He was very upset that was a fumbled snap, or his quarterback came out from under center just a little too early. And because of the play being dropped for a loss, he just wanted to get everything back together again, and they had to use their last timeout. So the situation, they're down 21-17, and the officials asked him to put 4 seconds back on the clock. So we have 1:17 remaining.
Must have an ACC timer here.
Throws the ball back. Clanton is tight end. Bounces off one tackle, and he'll take it down to the 40. Thigpen is a man who put the hit on him, and Clanton really took a belt at the 45, and he just kept right on going.
It all comes down to this, Ron. 4th down. 4th and 5.
Clock runs at 53, now 52 seconds. Mississippi State must get it to the 34-yard line. Pumps it once. Ran right by Thigpen, and he'll have the first down. Tommy thought that he had thrown the ball, and he just stopped. It looked so strange, he just stopped. He was right by him.
Well, Greg Plump made a great decision because he was going to try to throw to his back out of the backfield, William Prince, but William Prince would not have had enough yardage for the first down. So he did give the pump and was able to hold on to it. Now, he had a shoulder separation against Ole Miss, and this may be the same injury that he had at this season's final game.
Sure looks like a shoulder. We're going to show you a replay, and you can see how strange it looks. In fact, I don't know if it's going to be regular speed or what. Watch Thigpen as he goes by him. See, he thought he threw it. He looked back downfield. Look at 40. Just standing there as he thought the ball was delivered.
Well, that great decision by Greg Plumb, because he didn't have the first down if he would have thrown the football to the receiver. Jackie, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get the first down. Now, if something's wrong with Greg Plumpton, he can't continue. He's going to have to go out of play. Rodney Hudson now, who had a series early in the ball game. So he's been in, and they're also warming up another quarterback on the sideline. Number 14.
Todd Jordan, who's from Tupelo. He's played quarterback. He obviously is the punter.
He's a junior, a little bit more experienced. So you have 2 quarterbacks to choose from.
Come on now. Hey, 38 seconds. 38 seconds. No timeout. Get it back.
You can hear Coach Brown, 38 seconds, no timeouts. Take one more look at the injury to Plump.
Big play by Greg Plump to pick up the first down. Looks like he hits the turf.
Yeah, he came down on that shoulder.
Left shoulder. He has to come out of play.
.38 seconds left. 21 North Carolina, 17 Mississippi State.
Big play for a quarterback coming off the bench.
Jordan delivers deep, overthrown. Harris is the man he was looking for. And now, if they feel as though Plump is okay, he can come back on the field after going out the 1.
They're going to keep Jordan in the game. They're going to let Todd Jordan either win it here at the end.
You see Orlando Truitt talking to him, and you know what he said. The same thing that every receiver says. I can get open, get me the football.
Well, with him, I believe it.
I do too. 8th play of the drive coming up. He'll take it to the 22. It's not enough for the first down. The clock now running to 20 seconds. And counting.
They want him to throw the ball into the turf to stop the clock, which will make it 4th and short.
So now we have 10 seconds left. Mississippi State with no timeouts left. North Carolina not only would love for the personal satisfaction of winning the bowl game, would like to end the SEC dominance in bowl play this year. The win here would make the ACC 3-1.
Todd Jordan needs a completion here.
Jordan deep over the middle. Nobody's there. North Carolina will take it over with 6 seconds showing on the clock. Because the ball was thrown down and stopping the clock on 3rd down, Mike, I'm not sure the players on the bench realized that it was 4th down until all of a sudden they looked and the offensive team, or the defensive team, was coming off the field, and then they started waving their towels on the sideline. They'll take the snap. They'll go to one knee. And with that, Mack Brown will win his first bowl game as the head coach of the Tar Heels of North Carolina. The final score, North Carolina 21 and Mississippi State 17. Stay tuned for Sports Center, which is going to follow next. For Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten, I'm Ron Franklin saying thanks to the folks here in Atlanta and the Peach Bowl. They have been wonderful. And good night from Atlanta, Georgia.